social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Estvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Estvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold up! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Welcome back in at the Dickinson High School Gym. I'm Brock Widener, joining you on the PSP Network and Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. Well, it has felt like it has been forever since I have called a basketball game, but it's only been 2 weeks, 13 days, and that's the 13 days since it's been a home game for the Dickinson Mavericks. They were supposed to play the St. Mary Saints a week ago, but was postponed. And they found the date right here to slide it in on a Monday, which means a 3-game week coming up for DHS, as they've got St. Mary's today. Williston tomorrow will have that game on the PSP Network as well. And then on Friday night, they will head on over to the Magic City to take on the Sentinels of Minot North. We've won that matchup on the PSP Network as well. So 3 Maverick games all week long there coming up. And hey, let's jump in to the schedule this week, and a lot of great action and a lot of great hoops coming up tomorrow as well as Thursday, Friday. But even today, on a Monday, we've got some Class B games, Glen Burn and our Redeemers with Jonas Nelson on the call. And then again, St. Mary's and Dickinson. We're playing 2 tonight, girls and boys, and then they'll play again tomorrow against Williston. Tomorrow night we'll have St. Mary's versus Minot High, Legacy versus Minot North, Bismarck, Mandan. It's everyone inside the WDA pretty much, and then some other hoops there in Class B coverage. Wilton Wings, Central McLean, and Rugby and DLB tomorrow. We're going to start stretching out this graphic for how much games we're having on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But it's going to be a fun week of hoops, and even got some hockey and wrestling there in on Thursday. But let's jump in and start talking about 2A, and let's jump into the polls. And the girls are on the right side of the screen. That's where we'll focus on this pregame show. And then for the boys, we'll focus a little bit more on the left side there. But Minot led by the Oklahoma commit, Lee Bell. We're getting all 15 first place votes, 13-0 on the year. Mandan stays at number 2, Horace at 3, Century at 4, and Davies at 5. Nothing changed from last week to this week. So everything's staying the same on the girls' side in AA. Well, now let's jump on over to 2A hoops here on the West. We'll take a little bit more of that look, but Minot, again, number 1 in the state, number 1 in the WDA. Mandan, number 2 in the state, number 2 in the WDA. And then Century, number 4 in the state, number 3 in the WDA. Those are your top dogs right now in girls basketball. Legacy and Williston at the 4 and 5. Bismarck at the 6. And it's Jamestown, St. Mary's, Minot North, and the Dickinson Mavericks rounding out the pack. But everyone now has played each other once, pretty much. Tonight, this is Dickinson's last opponent until you start swooping in the second time through. So I think it's going to be fun to see what teams make adjustments, what teams maybe that fell in that Game 1 situation earlier on the year that come back and avenge an early season loss. And sometimes that can do well, and I'm interested to seeing, especially with this Dickinson team that is so far winless in WDA play, that what adjustments they make when seeing a team a second time through, and we'll start seeing that tomorrow when they take on Williston. But 2 of their coaches, Terrence Lockett, their head coach, and assistant coach Reggie Fields, played collegiate basketball themselves. Mayville State for Coach Lockett, Dickinson State for Coach Fields, and I think it's going to be fun to kind of see how they make those adjustments with their team, seeing the opponents for a second time. DHS right now 2-9, 0-8 right now in conference play. St. Mary's 4-7, 2-6. So right by each other in the standings. But we'll start going and unpacking these 2 teams, and a little bit more information on the 2. We're going to start talking about their last matchups, as well as much more. Some key players and keys to the game yet to come on the Valvoline and Soil Change pregame show here on the PSP Network on Monday night WDA basketball.
We started with small beginnings. And just like the visionary entrepreneurs we serve, we turned an idea into reality. Today, we give you the power to grow your ideas by building meaningful relationships in the communities we serve. Because it's the same place we started. BNC National Bank, where possibilities begin right here at home.
One thing that I've always enjoyed about being a physician is just the patient and physician relationship.
Part of why I trusted him is because I felt more than just a patient.
We figured out the best situation for my injury, and we chose the one that would best fit me.
I'm a huge sports fan, have been my whole life and still am today. I have a strong desire to help people maintain their activity levels and to get back to doing the things that they are passionate about.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters, unlike those guys. We take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Our initial reaction when we realized he had 2 broken bones was fear. Then once we realized and got a plan with Trinity and our doctor, a lot of comfort.
He told me that he can fix my arm, and he showed me a lot of stuff that he could do to help me.
Trinity Health Orthopedics is as good as you can find anywhere in the country. A lot of us take pride in that, and that's why we stay here and we keep doing what we do.
Trinity Health, making more possible.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change is your locally owned oil change headquarters. 25 years, Lundine's taking care of people. Local actually matters, not to mention this oil change is a stay-in-your-car, drive-through oil change. Typically performed in 15 minutes or less. You can find them in Minot and Bismarck. It's Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Welcome back into the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show as let's start diving in to these two teams as 15 minutes or less. We are going to hit into opening festivities here in Dickinson for the doubleheader tonight. Well, the St. Mary Saints make the trip from the capital city, 4-7 overall, 2-6 inside the WDA. They have dropped their last 2 games last week. They fell to one of the top teams in the region. Actually, they played 2 of the top 3 teams in the region. They fell to number 3 Century 48-72 and then lost to the number 2 team in the region and in the state, Mandan, 51-63. But the big note here was St. Mary's was down by over 20 points, and they did a great job of just battling back and continued to find a way to cut that gap, and they fell by 12, but a really good second half effort for them. They won in the transition point battle 14-8, but the big thing was points off of turnovers. They lost that by 11-point margin, and they committed more turnovers, 7 more turnovers than Mandan. But a really good second half that kind of kept them, try to get them in within striking distance. I really like how they closed it out. This is a team that has some close kind of losses as well against some teams that are above them. You take a look at that Williston game. That's a 10-point game and could have maybe went either way there down the stretch. This is a team that has some capability, and they've got some playmakers, averaging about 57 points per game, give up around 63 for St. Mary's. I mean, we're going to start talking about their player to watch tonight because she is going to be a key contributor, that is for sure. It's Matea Messer, the senior guard, and here's some of her stats, averaging around 20 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, 11 three-pointers, around 68% at the charity stripe. But yeah, those offensive numbers, they're spectacular, but even those defensive numbers, wow, 38 steals. And again, this is on 11 games, so averaging over 3 steals per game, 17 blocks, and her season high, 32 points against Fargo North, and she's coming off a 30-point performance against Mandan, where she had 2 three-pointers and 10 rebounds, had a double-double, and had 5 assists, so can distribute the ball as well. There you see there on their Mandan stats. Matea Messer is the leader of the Saints team. She is a senior, and she is one of those players that's coming back. She was an All-WDA player last year, a second-team All-Stater. So take a look at, keep an eye on number 1 in blue and white tonight. She'll be joined by the impressive 8th grader, standing at 6'3". It's Lily Ettinger, 12 points per game. And she's one of those players that has 13 blocks, 9 steals, can do it on both fronts, coming off an 11-point, 10-rebound, double-double performance against Mandan last week. Her season high is 22 points, so she can put it up, too, in her 8th grade campaign. Stella Gallick will also be in the mix, 5 point per game. Maya Jones around that 5 point per game margin as well. And then Journey Okrup around 7 points, 3.5 rebounds. And Savannah Schweitzer around 5 points as well. So those are your key contributors. Keep an eye on for the Saints. And now let's talk about Dickinson. And our highlight player tonight will be one that is fought on a little bit of a hot streak. It's Emily Dutke, the junior guard, rounding out 8 points, 1 rebound per game. She's got 4 steals, but the big number for her is 16 3-pointers. Season high is 16 points against Bismarck. That happened last week on the 20th. She also has 4 straight games where she has netted 2 or more 3-pointers, including on Friday where she had 7 points, 2 3-pointers, and a free throw there in the game against Jamestown. I mean, Emily Dutke, she is one of those players that's heating up 9 3-pointers in her last 4 games. So 3 games where she had 2 3-pointers and another one that she had 3 in. And keep an eye on her. If she can get some consistent or get some open looks there beyond the arc, she can sink them. And could be a key ingredient for Dickinson trying to pick up their first win inside the WDA. Dickinson is led in scoring by Abby Prowse, 11 points, 3 rebounds per game, 10 steals, 24 3-pointers on the season, had 11 points against Jamestown. Her season high is 17, but last year she had a 39-point performance when she was an all-region player. Allie Stevenson coming off an 11-point game, season high of 15 for the freshman guard, that averaging 6 points and 2 rebounds per game. Claire Rodakowski, she's known for her rebounding, 6.5 rebounds per game, 3 points per game. And then Jenna Nelson, 5 points, 4 rebounds per game. But those rebound numbers are soaring higher and higher for Jenna Nelson at 8 rebounds. And that 7-point performance against Jamestown for her. Then you take a look at some of those other guards, Tatum Fisher, Aaliyah Zastapol, Evelyn Fridley, a couple of younger players. They can put up points, and they kind of be one of those players that just kind of jump into that number 2 scoring role any given night. And then Evie Halverson as that junior center, 5 points, 3 rebounds for her, and coming off a 6.5 rebound performance against the Jamestown Blue Jays. So those are your key players to keep an eye on here tonight. And Dickinson averaging around 46 points per game. That's 10th in the WDA and 72 points allowed per game, as they are right now trying to find their first win inside the WDA. They have 2 wins on the season. They come against Dawson County, Montana, and West Fargo. And that West Fargo game, when they won, it snapped a 9-game road losing streak that dated back to last year. They're seeing if they can break a WDA drought here tonight against the team that sits above them a couple spots above them here in the WDA standings in the St. Mary's Saints here tonight. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will have starting lineups as well as opening festivities on your way here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
At Ryan Buick GMC, we treat every day like game day.
1.2-liter turbo engine, ultra-wide screen.
1.2-liter turbo engine, ultra-wide screen, on 2. Ready?
We know how to get you in the right vehicle.
Blue Canyon, said hut, hut.
From the test drive to the handoff, we make every step easy. This season, start your drive at Ryan Buick GMC.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
That was tonight's national anthem here at DHS Gymnasium as we are getting ready for tonight. Starting lineups is between the St. Mary Saints and the Dickinson Mavericks. And let's meet the starting five for the St. Mary Saints. 4-7 on the year, 2-6 inside the WDA, led by Matea Messer. There's her stats on your screen: 20 points, 10 rebounds per game. She is joined by Stella Galick, averaging 5 points, 2 rebounds. Maya Jones, 6 points, 4 rebounds per game. Journey Okrup, the 5'9" senior, 7 points, 3.5 rebounds per game. And the 8th grader that continues to dazzle inside the WDA, Lily Ettinger, 12 points per game for her, coming off an 11-point performance last week against Mandan. They're head coached by Ty Terry in his 3rd year. And now let's turn our attention to the starting lineup for the Dickinson Mavericks. The senior guard, Jenna Nelson, averaging 5 points, 4 rebounds per game. Claire Rodakowski leading the way in rebounds with 6 per game. The three-point shooter, Emily Dutke, 8 points per game. She has had more than two or more three-pointers in each and every game of her last 4. Allie Stevenson, the freshman guard, averaging 6 points, coming off 11-point performance against Jamestown. And Abby Prowse, averaging 11 on the season. Well, we are ready to go. Dickinson in their white home uniforms, Longhorn orange trimming, moving right to left. St. Mary's in their blue, moving left to right as we are off and running here on the PSP network. Clock didn't go right away, but now it is running. So maybe a little extra play here in the start. Stella Galick works to the baseline, skips off the rim into the hands of Stevenson. Abby Prowse, she flashes her speed. Quickly getting the baseline. Galick all over, so she'll flip it on to Stevenson. Stevenson, her offensive numbers starting to soar up the last couple of weeks. The senior, Jenna Nelson, has her pocket picked by Messer. Matea Messer with the right hand finish. That's going to be a matchup to watch, a pair of an impressive seniors. As Dutke was our spotlight player for Dickinson today. Works it down to the paint to Nelson, kicks it out, good ball movement. Rodakowski has in the corner, bounce pass to Stevenson on the baseline. Working against Okrup, here comes Rodakowski soaring in, and it just skims off the rim. Maya Jones not going to waste any time, coast to coast, high off the glass. She gets her own rebound, swings it over to Gallick. Gallick now picks up a screen from Messer. Now works to her right, hands it off. Okrup, senior, into the corner. Gallick for three. Stella Gallick with a three-pointer to put them up early, 5-0. That's her 7th from downtown this season. Nelson lobs one into the paint, now just driving out, going for a corner three is Prouse, just a little too long on the try. First 2 minutes of the game in the books. And a first foul will also be committed, as first one going to be on Jenna Nelson, her first. Again, Nelson, a University of Jamestown commit, one of the best players inside the WDA on the volleyball court. One of the best players in the state on the volleyball court. Be fun to watch her for the Jimmies next season. Still donning the orange and black. And another foul committed on THS. Terrence Lockett wanting an explanation on that one, as Claire Rodakowski going to get it. As she was trying to kind of maybe pull off a little bit, trying to jump the route. They'll work it in now. Hand it off to Jones. Long two try for Messer, off the mark. Brought down with both hands by Abby Prouse. Prouse. Stop and go, trying to shake around Gallick. Ball movement, opens it up for the three-point shooter and the three-point maker, Emily Dutke. Well, we talked about it last 4 games. She's had 2 or more three-pointers in each of her last 4. Hey, that's a great way to start to try to make it 5 in a row with that stat. Ettinger works it in. A nice little lay-in for the 8th grader. Quick answer back. Dutke, she wants the other 3 early on, but that one bangs off the rim and into the hands of Messer, ready to push tempo. Getting her hand in on the play is Nelson. Returning the favor after Messer picked her pockets earlier. Now she gets a little revenge, gets a steal of her own. Dutke with a nice little pump fake. Ball movement, Rodakowski flips it off to Prouse. Prouse buys time off of a screen. Dutke with another pump fake, little up and under, high off the glass and in. The junior guards got all 5 points for the home team as they trail by 2 with 14:38 remaining here in the first half. Maya Jones sails in. 4 buckets for the Saints, 4 different scores for St. Mary's. Prouse hits the brakes, flips it to Rodakowski. Emily Dutke, she's feeling it tonight. Just brushes off the front of the rim. With the junior having a lot of confidence as Gallick comes storming in and draws a foul. It'll be on Stevenson, so Stella Gallick will be going into the line to shoot 2. First one swirls in for the sophomore. He's played some really tough defense to start this one. Had a tough day at the office against Mandan where she went 0 for 9 shooting, but hey, this is one of these players that just continues to find a way to make an impact. And for her defensively, that was key, where she ended up having 2 steals in that game and really helped them try to get back in the conversation. Gets an early 2 here tonight. Brushes off a lane violation there to Prowse to the left a little early. Nelson works it down to Prowse. Pivoting on the baseline. Rodakowski with the pump fake. Now she goes to work into Stevenson. Rodakowski sets her a nice hard screen, works it up, nice ball movement. Prowse finds her way. Left wing 3, count it. Great setup, great finish, and just like that, the Mavericks are within 3. Messer to the baseline, finding in a cutting Savannah Schweitzer. That's a great answer back, and it seems like when Dickinson finds a bucket, the Saints waste no time. Just containing that 5-point lead. As Julie Ettinger will be taking a break. They'll sub her out. Journey Okrup back in. Nelson wide open, buries a 3. Had 7 points and 8 rebounds against Jamestown. She has had a tough task going up against one of the best players in WDA in Messer. She's been playing great defense, trying to shut down Messer. Ward with a nice 3-pointer. And this time an offensive foul, the first foul on the day for the Saints. As Evie Halverson will check in for Allie Stevenson. For her first action today, Evie Halverson averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds per game. For the center, Nelson finds Dutke. Back to Nelson, wide open for a long 2. Left it short. Halverson can't come away with the rebound. Messer can. Messer finding in to a cutting. Maya Jones, count the basket and the foul. Maya Jones, perfection there, just filling in the lane. Here it is on the replay. Fills in the lane well. Messer to Jones for 2. And the free throw just as good. Jones has got 5. She's averaging around 5.5 points per game. She's already got 5, and then there's still 12 minutes before the half. Helps them build it back up to a 5-point lead. 16-11 Saints. Emily Dutke. Pump fake, drive, draw the foul on Jones. That's Maya Jones's first, second on the Saints. And Dutke, who's got 5 points so far today, goes to the line for the first time here tonight. First one is good. Had 7 points in her last game, was our spotlight player here tonight. Averaging around 8 points on the campaign. It's a player that's really stepped up. Last season averaged around 2 points per game. Now has jumped up to about an 8-point per game player. That one left short, but she'll bring it within a 4-point game with 12-13 on the board. Messer finds some space, hard off the glass. Got the positioning she wanted, but just a little too strong. Prowse in the corner. She is pestered all around by Journey Okrup. They feed it down to Halverson. Halverson draws the foul on Schmidt and gets the bucket. Halverson shows her experience there. Nice play there for Halverson. Halverson brings them within 2, and now with the free throw off the back of the rim, Rodakowski trying to get her hand in on the rebound, but she'll be the last one to touch it, and it's Saints basketball. That replay earlier was brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships. For 50 years, Ryan has been a trusted name for car buyers in Western North Dakota. Shop their entire inventory. DriveRyan.com. Visit one of their 5 locations in Minot and in Bismarck. Maya Jones to Stella Gallick for 3. That one hard off the front of the rim. winning the race to it is Nelson. She'll flip it out to Fridley, and Dickinson looking for some quick pace of play. Fridley to Rodakowski. Nelson hands it back to Rodakowski. Took an extra step. There's a travel, and the Saints may luck out there. As Tatum Fisher will give Jenna Nelson her first break on the night. Jones cut off well, loses the handle, and they will say she had a little bit of help there from Fridley. So Dickinson's got a 7th grader on the court in Evie Fridley. And then you got St. Mary's with Lily Ettinger, who've got an 8th grader on the court. So some young junior high players making an impact for their respective team here in varsity. And Maya Jones continues to dazzle. Maya Jones is leading the way with 7 points. I got her tagged here as her season high is 10 points versus Jamestown. And right now already has 7 with plenty of time to work with before the Charbonneau Car Center intermission show. As she will hit her second 3-point play and get a lot of appreciation for her bench as she checks out for a breather. Prowse with a low bounce pass there to Rodakowski. It is peeled away by Kralik. Maggie Kralik gets the steal and hands it off to Messer to set up shop. Kralik to Gallick. Waits from a screen from Okrup. Loose ball. Prowse trying to dive for it. Still loose. Kralik in the bunch. And it is a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the home team Mavericks, and they'll get the ball back down by 5. Big thanks out to Minot State. Best way to predict your future is created with over 100 areas of study at Minot State. You'll learn the degree of your career or your desire with more than 96% of Minot State grads employed or continue their education. MSU grads get jobs, period. Minot State University. Be seen, be heard, be you. Fridley dumps one down low to Halverson, backing her away against the 7th grader. Little pump fake. I think Ettinger got a piece of it as it redirects it in the hands of Messer. As a 6'3", 8th grader playing some great defense against the junior center. Gallick, nice find to Okrup. She paves her way into the paint, misses the first shot, makes the second and the foul. Journey Okrup with her first points on the day. And that marks it 6 different scores already for the Saints as they lead by a touchdown, 21-14. Make it another 3-point play for St. Mary's. That is their 3rd 3-point play on the night. And they are a perfect 5 for 5 at the charity stripe as a team. That has right now been the key ingredient for them to start pulling away here up by 8. After much of this game being between a 5 and a 3-point gap. Ettinger fills in the lane, and the 7th grader lays it in for 2. Timeout taken by Coach Lockett, and the Mavericks will take one with them as St. Mary's up by 10 with 9:39 remaining.
Breathe in. I can't believe I wrecked my car. There's some things in life we can't control. But what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clamine, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert.
As we come in, Stella Gallick with a steal, and it looks like she's going to be credited with a carry as well. So we will try the inbound again. Coming out of the Dickinson. Timeout brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. Full-service, family-owned, independent community bank built on the bond between their employees and customers. Founded in 1910. Serving communities in Arizona, Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Find them online at FIBT.com. Bringing you all timeouts in this doubleheader here tonight. Again, the boys matchup coming up at the conclusion here of the girls, but still plenty of matchup of this one left halfway here through half number one. Stella Gallic comes away with the steal, little heavy on the floater, and tying up Ettinger there is Stevenson for a jump ball. This time possession arrow will favor the visitors. So gonna stay with the team out of the capital city. Matea Messer in on the inbound. And it looks like an offensive foul before we get an inbound, so count that one on the Saints. They're fourth on the day as a team. This one going to be tagged up on number 15, Olivia Lundeen, who's checked in off the bench. Nelson, chest pass it over to Stevenson. Stevenson with a low dribble. Gets a little screen from Halverson. Now all pestered all by Jones, who's had a strong game thus far. Prouse drives in, and Stella Gallic will tie her up for the 15th foul. That's going to be Gallic's first. Lob it up, a catch and shoot for Halverson. That slingshot's right back to where she shot it from, but Ettinger won with the rebound. Loose ball, and Nelson takes it right back in favor of the Mavs. So the ball kind of pinballing around both teams. Stevenson, floater, swishes through. Beautiful shot there for Allie Stevenson. Dudke comes away with the steal. As Dickinson has worked it back to single digits, Prouse is trying to get it back within 5, but too strong on the three-point try. Jones forces it to Gallic, but it is going to go out of play. Picked up by the cheer team. So after trailing by double digits, Dickinson seeing if they can try to work it back in. Again, much of the start of this game, it was back and forth between a 5-point and a 3-point gap. For the Saints went on a roll. And that forced Dickinson to take their first time out of the ballgame. Stevenson making Messer miss on the swipe attempt. Halverson keeps away from Jones. Whips it to Dudke. She wants a three. She's got a three. Emily Dudke now for 5 consecutive games has 2 or more three-pointers in each of those 5 games. She has continued to stay red hot from behind the arc, and what a nice move from Stella Gallic from the other end. She's got 7 points. It's a 7-point gap, 26-19. Stevenson to Dudke. Pump fake, works it in from the elbow. Jumper not good there. Is that one picked up by Ettinger? Gallic to Messer. Left it long. Jones could not haul it in cleanly. Neither Stevenson. Rodakowski hustle effort, and it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Stella Gallic. Great hustle effort by players on both teams, seeing that loose ball, and it becomes a track meet. Gallic wins the race, but steps out of bounds, and it looks like, I think Terrence, thought I heard timeout, but no, maybe it was just a play that I misheard there, as we will stay in play with 7 minutes remaining here before halftime. Well, Sherman Oak Car Center intermission show. Stevenson has it ripped away by Stella Gallic. Pushes it up to Messer. Quick weave, quick jumper. Rushes off the front iron. Stevenson wasting no time. It is back and forth action. Stevenson gets the bucket. It's became a track meet back and forth down the court. Tempo has picked up, and Messer draws the foul on Nelson. 26-21, Nelson's second. She'll have a chat with assistant coach Reggie Fields. as Messer sinks her first free throw of 2. Averaging 20 points per game, one of the top players inside the WDA. An all WDA player last year, second team All-Stater. So far held in check well by Nelson, who's been guarding her here in the first half. Players like Messer, you can only keep her silent for so long, and then you'll see that those points start racking up more than likely than not. Little underhand hook shot there by Schweitzer, hauled in by Nelson. Dutke picks up a screen by Rodakowski. Slings it up to Halverson. Looks to the top of the key. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Make it 10 now. Fridley, the 7th grader, spins away. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and she draws a foul on the senior Messer. So one of the oldest players on the court fouls probably the youngest player that we'll see today. That'll be Messer's first, team 6th. One away from bonus there for Dickinson. And there we go. There quickly gets a quick foul, this time on number 12. And that is going to be the first free throw now coming up for Emily Dutke. First one on the 1-and-1. She buries it, and she'll get that second opportunity and second whack at it. Emily Dutke, our spotlight player to watch tonight. She hasn't disappointed. 10 points. Make it 11. She's 3 for 4 at the line. Within a 4-point game. It's the first time it's been under 5. It's about 5 or 6 minutes into this game. As Journey Okrup works down to low paint. Nice little spin move for Journey Okrup. She's got 5 now and back up to 6-point lead for the Saints. Nelson plays to Rodakowski. Nice ball movement. Halverson. Back to Rodakowski. Too long on the 3, but Fridley runs it down. And then plays it off her foot, and it's going the opposite direction. In all this time, Abby Prowse has been out, or excuse me, Stevenson, or Abby Prowse has been out of the lineup as she was talking there with her coaching staff. She's back in on the sideline. Stevenson going to check in at the next stoppage as Messer sails in for 2. Ball lodged loose, last touch by the Saints. Stay here with Dutke and DHS. Prowse still on the sideline with 4:43 remaining. Stevenson almost ran into there by Messer, and Messer may have thought she didn't have too much contact, but just enough for the ref to blow the whistle and call her on her second foul and send Allie Stevenson to the line for her first time tonight. It's on a 1-and-1. First one not gonna go, so that's gonna be the try there for Stevenson as Nelson gets her hand to the cookie jar, trying to draw that one loose to Messer, and does. Last touch by St. Mary's, and Stella Gallick will check in for Messer. She'll provide that pressure early on and get it into Stevenson. Prowse looks like she's ready to come in. After a little bit of discomfort, looks like she's good to go. But one of those ultimate competitors. Here comes Fridley. Floater off the front of the rim and in. For Evie Fridley, or Evie Fridley, excuse me. There's Evie Halverson and Evie Fridley. That one for Fridley there, back within 6. Cutting, Okrup draws the foul, count the bucket and the foul. It has been those 3-point plays that have been the difference maker so far. This is now their 4th three-point play opportunity. Second one for Journey Okra. This one left long. It's the first time they missed on a three-point play. Well, their second team miss at the charity stripe. They have been shooting at a really good percentage. I think as a team, they made their first 6 free throws as a team. 4 miss as Stevenson fakes one way, starts to drive, met by a pair of players in blue jerseys. Now to Prowse, who's back in the game after a little bit of missed time, but looks like she's ready to go. Picks up the rebound. Works it out to the far corner to Stevenson. Stevenson on the double dribble, kind of picked it up and went back to work, and that's going to be called 9 times out of 10. As Rodakowski pulled out, they'll bring in Tatum Fisher, the freshman, averaging 3 points per game. And then Rodakowski now actually will stay in. They're going to make it Fisher for Nelson. Both teams at 8 team fouls, so both teams in on the bonus. As Maya Jones into a cutting, Ettinger. As a 6'3", 8th grader goes to the line for her first time tonight. Nice find there for Jones. Been impressed by Maya Jones's game thus far. Ettinger. Nothing but net. 5 points for her. And if she can get this next free throw, they'll go back up by double digits. And she does. Prowse hits the gas pedal, then the brakes. Starts cutting into the paint now, works it into the corner to Rodakowski. Now she'll work into the paint. There on the baseline, has it poked by Jones, whips it out to Fridley. Fridley back to Rodakowski. Quick ball movement, opens up for a three-point shot, well off the mark by Prowse, and that will go out of play. Dickinson doing everything they can to try to stay within striking distance. They've came back already, down by 12. To work it back within, what was that, 4 points? I think the lowest they got this time around. It's been a game of runs early on. Gallick works it down to Ettinger. Back to Gallick it goes. Good defense by Prowse, not letting her get out of the sights. Back to Gallick. Almost loses her handle. Now will regain it. Works to the left side of the court. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gallick now works to her right. Puts one up off the glass. Whirls out. Ettinger right place, right time. Another three-point play. It is now the 5th opportunity for a three-point play, or an old-fashioned three-pointer. And that just shows that, hey, they're not afraid of a little physicality inside the paint. They're St. Mary's, and right now doing everything they can, and the charity stripe is working well for them here. As Ettinger gets the three-point play to drop. They're back up by 13 points, 38-25, which I believe ties their biggest lead of the ballgame. Prowse picks a screen from Fisher. Works the baseline, high floater. Gets a nice little bounce off the rim, and it drops in for Prowse's 4th and 5th points in the game. For their leading score here for Dickinson this season, Messer has that one brushed off the nylon. I think she wanted a foul potentially there as it was left short. Cutting, Nelson, nice find and a nice finish for Jenna Nelson. Nelson's now got 5 like her teammate Abby Prowse. Less than 2 minutes for the Charbonneau Car Center intermission show. Journey Okra works to her left, half spin, continues to pivot. Oh, masterful work in the paint by Okra. Hey, she might be a guard, but that's some nice post-playing ability there. Left it a little long. That was always my favorite thing, was working inside the paint. It's kind of always caught in a weird spot height-wise. Always flop between 1 year as a power forward and then the next year as a point guard, and then the year after as a power forward, then as a point guard. As a charge foul, but always liked it. Didn't matter if I was a post player or a guard in the coach's eyes. Always liked working in the paint. And yeah, that Okra play just a few plays ago, spectacular work there by the 5'9" guard. She's kind of transitioned into more of a post player here, as it kind of seems like. That play a little bit pass a little off the mark for her. Prowse slowly walks it up the court. Lobs it, they tried to lob it into Halverson, had it batted away by Schweitzer, but Schweitzer will get called on a foul, reach-in foul there, her second, and send Halverson to the line for the second time today for her second 1-on-1 chance. So far 0 for 1 at the charity stripe. But she'll make it this time around. Bring it within 10 points here in the final minute. Halverson sends it up, just kind of veers left at the last second and allows going coast to coast. Maggie Kralik with the points. So Kralik with a nice hustle effort gets down the court quickly. Fisher loses the handle. That was big. It gets back up by a dozen. As Prowse try to find it in, and Nelson taken away by Messer. She's got a head of steam with her. She's got some numbers, flips it on to Okrup. Okrup back to Messer, 4-3. Messer with her first three-pointer. Nice little setup there by Journey Okrup with a fantastic close to the half for her. A little assist and the screen to set everything up. Nelson to Halverson. Messer with a foul from behind. Not what Messer wants to see if she's the one tagged with. No, they're not going to tag her with it, actually. There's a couple of blue jerseys around, but this one actually going to go against Maggie Kralik and Halverson for her third trip. She leaves the first one short as the boys team heading over to the locker rooms now for the Dickinson Mavericks. Getting ready for their matchup after the conclusion of the girls' game here tonight at Dickinson High. 8 seconds for the half. Messer flips it up to Gallick. Gallick puts up a three, in and out, brought down by Prowse, and that will do it for the first half of play. As St. Mary's flexes their depth, a lot of different players in the score sheet making an impact, and it's helped them pull up by 15, their biggest lead of the ball game, headed in to the Charbonneau Car Center intermission show when we return on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by
At Planning Team Financial Advisors, we help individuals create their personalized strategies. We specialize in financial planning, retirement planning, insurance, and 401k distribution options. Don't leave your future to chance. Call Planning Team Financial Advisors today for a free retirement review. Planning Team Financial Advisors, your plan, your future, your team.
This This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Welcome into the halftime show. First half in the books as St. Mary's leads Dickinson 45-30. They worked it up to their largest lead of the game right there at the end of the first half. Well, let's jump into first half highlights brought to you by Ryan Family Dealership. We'll have that rolling for you as we break things down. Big thanks out to Charbonneau Car Center for being our sponsor of the intermission show. They know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richmond, Belfield, Wilson, North Dakota, and Glendive, Montana. Work hard, play hard, need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop in their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. Visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. Well, St. Mary's was able to start pulling away here early, as you'll see on the scores, but Dickinson did a really good job of just making sure they wouldn't get too far ahead. St. Mary's worked into a double-digit gap, I think, 3 different times. Dickinson, though, was able to work it back within single digits 2 of those times until the last one where they went on that late run to go up by 15 before we got to halftime. For Dickinson, it really started off well with some early 3-pointers for Emily Dudke. Again, she's got 2 tonight, and it's now 5 consecutive games where she's had 2 or more 3-pointers in those contests. She's got 11 points tonight, 2 3-pointers, also 3 for 4 at the charity stripe for our spotlight player tonight on the DHS side. And then Jenna Nelson did a really good job of kind of shutting down Matea Messer for majority just early on in that first half. And she's had 5 points of her own for Nelson. Also picking up 5 points, Abby Prowse. She missed some of the time with some discomfort, but came back out and picked up another bucket since she came back in. She's got 5 points tonight. Allie Stevenson's got 4, 3 for Evie Halverson, and 2 for the 7th grader of Evie Fridley. For St. Mary's, well, it was some great defense for them and some second chance, not only some second chance opportunities, but 3-point plays. I think they had 5 or 6 different 3-point plays for them from 3 different players. Matea Messer was held in check for a good chunk of that first half, but she ends up having 8 points, a good close out to the half for her with a late 3-pointer. Stella Gallick, I thought she had really good defense. She gets 7 points. Maya Jones with a great start to the half for her. I think she really got St. Mary's trending in the right direction early with 8 points, 2 3-point plays. Journey Okrup had a good closeout, 9 points and a couple of nice finds for assist-wise. Lily Ettinger has 9 points. Does the 7th grade or the 8th grader Savannah Schweitzer and Makey Krolick have 2 points apiece off of the bench. So there's your scoring as again St. Mary's leads Dickinson 45-30. Nice little spin move there for Journey Okrup. And we'll see a couple more highlights here. Here's the steal and driving down. Okrup with a nice find to Messer, and that would close out the first half of play. So first half of play in the books as you're listening in to PSP Network. Big thanks out to Charmin Car Center for bringing us the intermission show. They'll also bring us the post-game show to wrap things up after this one. But again, stay tuned as after this game, we'll have the boys contest, a part of the doubleheader here tonight. Got some matchups on the PSP Network tonight. Here, the St. Mary's Dickinson doubleheader, as well as Glenburn and our Redeemers in girls hoops. This busy slate on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, a whole bunch of basketball. Thursday, a little bit of everything. We got hoops, wrestling, and hockey. And then back to some basketball coverage inside the WDA on Friday night. Let's take a 30-second break. When we come back, we are ready for the second half of action for Dickinson and St. Mary's.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's gonna go, so.
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Welcome back in here to the PSP Network as second half of action. Ready and rocking here between the Saints and the Mavericks. Now the Saints moving right to left. They'll quickly work it from Okrup to Messer. Cannot quite get the friendly bounce, but Ettinger trying to clean things up. Can't get the putback to go. And Stevenson hauls it down with both hands. Nelson wasting no time. That one hit out of play. So it's going to go in the opposite direction again. Emily Dudke, our player spotlight here tonight, had a very solid first half of play. And on the other end, it's Matea Messer, who's our player spotlight, one of the top players inside the WDA. As Lily Ettinger weaves her way in for the bucket. Prowse thought about a 3. Step back, now they'll just kind of send it in a line to the right wing. where Emily Dudke leads them in scoring here tonight. Picks it up. Now she'll start to drive. Nice find to Nelson, up and over the rim. Good look there for Dickinson. Just could not quite get the points to show for it here in the early minute of half number 2. Prowse will not inbound it in time there as the time was winding down. So Coach Locke going to take a timeout. They'll talk things over. We'll be back here on the PSP Network for more second half action.
Our initial reaction when we realized he had 2 broken bones was fear. Then once we realized and got a plan with Trinity and our doctor, a lot of comfort.
He told me that he can fix my arm, and he showed me a lot of stuff that he could do to help me.
Trinity Health Orthopedics is as good as you can find anywhere in the country. A lot of us take pride in that, and that's why we stay here and we keep doing what we do.
Trinity Health, making more possible.
Nelson lobs it in after the Dickinson timeout, brought to you by First International Bank and Trust, as that's going to be touched out of bounds by St. Mary's, so keep it on the Dickinson side. Still Dickinson basketball as Nelson lays it to Stevenson. 1 second on the shot clock, just has to put it up, and that will run out. Thanks out to BSN, and BSN creates exclusive personalized solutions for North Dakota high school and collegiate programs for custom equipment, uniforms, branding, and more. They do it all. Contact your local BSN sales pro today. Western North Dakota sales pros, Scott Woodmansey, Greg Foster, Naomi Erdahl, this is Nate Zachman, and sales manager Joe Cattell. And hey, Nate Zachman, is going to be joining us on the broadcast tomorrow night when Dickinson takes on Williston. So, hey, again, make sure to join us again tomorrow night here at the Dickinson High School. A little Bakken battle between the 2 orange and black teams inside the WDA. Wilson and Dickinson should be a fun matchup there on both girls and boys side. As always, it's always great matchups on the WDA. And we're honored to be able to have some WDA basketball here on a Monday. Usually it's Tuesday and Friday, and Lily Ettinger cleans it up again. That second chance opportunity, and the 8th grader doing a good job of cleaning up a miss, and hey, putting a couple points on the boards there for the Saints as well. They lead 49-30. Messer tried to work it to Jones in transition. Rodakowski, who was coming in late defensively, pokes that one loose as Dudke pressured all by Okrup. Now Gallick gets her hand in it. Here comes Okrup with Gallick in transition with her, and she's going to draw the foul and go to the line to shoot 2. As Dudke called on her first. Okrup, first free throw is good. She's 2 for 3 there tonight. And she is the second Saint to get into the double digits. She's got 10 points tonight. Make it 11. 11 points for Okrup. Her season high is 15. We'll see if she gets there. They'll stop and go for Prowse. Prowse just going to try to play it into Okrup, but Okrup playing some really good defense here tonight. Forces a travel. As Fridley will come in for Prowse. As the Saints start pulling away here to start the second half. Maya Jones whoops it out to Gallick. She hits the gas pedal, draws the foul on Stevenson. She goes to the line to shoot 2. Again, not a ton of tries on the season from the charity stripe for Gallick this year, but made her way on her second trip already here tonight. And so far is perfect. Perfect 3 for 3 there. It's been a really good free throw day for the Saints. And she'll cash in on both of them. She's got 9 points. Third Saint to have 9 or more points in the contest. Just a round scoring, balanced scoring day for them, and Lily Ettinger denies. Stevenson at the doorstep, a big-time swat. Ettinger already just an 8th grader, but it's already a great player inside AA basketball. Can't wait to see after she gains more and more varsity experience down the line. She's a player that you kind of already saw in her volleyball season. She was going to be a problem during the basketball season. That has certainly been the case early on, as a timeout taken by Dickinson, as the Saints lead by 23, 53 to 30, 15 minutes remaining here in this one.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
When disasters strike, we don't just clean up the damage, we rebuild what was lost. With over 75 years of experience, we turn disaster zones back into homes, businesses, and peace of mind. From cleanup to repair and full restoration, our trained professionals are with you every step, so you're never facing it alone. Because when you hire trained professionals, you get trusted results. Call ServPro in Minot, Bismarck, or Williston today.
Big things out there to ServPro. 24/7 emergency service. They bring you the free throws tonight. Journey Okrup with a long jumper connects. Comes out of the Dickinson timeout, and she said, no, us Saints are still buzzing right now. It's been all Saints here in the second half. They have went on a 10-0 run to start half number 2. Fisher finding into Fridley, a couple of younger players on this team. As Fridley. High pass to Halverson, reels it in, spins into the paint, now will spin to the post, draws the foul from behind on Kralik. Good paint work there for Halverson. First one for EV, swishes through the net. So far tonight at the charity stripe. It's our 2 for 6 tonight for Halverson, and make it 3 for 7. She's got 5 points, right at her season average. Averaging 5 has got 5. Everything else is just added bonus to get that season average up for Halverson. For the junior center, who we have seen glimpses of what she can do inside the paint. Not only tonight, but some of these home games throughout the season as well. As Schmidt hands it off. They'll set up a play here as they got their reserves getting some experience. And here's a nice little jumper. That is good there for Schweitzer. She's got 4 points. Fridley walks it up overhand. Almost a little too quick there for Dukey, but she does reel it in. Works to the high post right at the elbow. Find out the Prowse has her pocket picked by Lundeen as it sails out of bounds. Prowse bounces into Fridley. Fridley fades it up to Halverson. 4 seconds on the shot clock and an offensive foul on Evie Halverson. As that shot clock was winding down, she knew it was go time. They called on the foul. Fisher doing a good job of stepping in defensively with the help. Lundeen's three off the course. And it goes out of bounds. Contact Farside Oil today. Find out how their skilled sales team can help you achieve your wholesale fuel, motor lubricants, DEF needs. Proudly serving North Dakota, Montana, Western Minnesota since 1938. Committed to outstanding customer service and reliability. Farsted Oil. Thanks to all of our sponsors tonight, allowing us to bring you in today's contest. Both parts of the doubleheader. As Dutke sails in, right, a little mid-range floater, trying to sail that one in, but made just below the nylon. He brushed off it slightly, but goes low and out of play. $13-10 remaining as the Saints lead 57-32. They're going to make a complete change, kind of back to that starting lineup. At the next stoppage are the Saints. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Schweitzer has it poked. Lundeen, though, picks it up, throws it near the rim. Picked up by Kralik. Here's a three-point try. Drops outside. Kralik picks it back up. Second look, Schweitzer with the jumper off the back of the rim. Fridley trying to push tempo and does. Out to Emily Dutke, had the inside line, and she draws the foul. Emily Dutke goes back for her third trip tonight. She's 3 for 4 at the line. First time here in the second, and that one just to the left of the rim. Got a whole new crew of Saints have checked in. Messer, Ettinger, Okrup, Gallick, and Jones, the new 5. As Dutke in and out. Goes 0 for 2 this time. Will stay at 11 points, her total. Gallick now has a clear runway, and Stella Gallick for 2. She's the next Saint to work her way into double digits, as she's got 11. Hard shot there for Fridley. Messer to Gallick, trying to make it 2 in a row. That one just off the kind of that corner of the rim. With a dozen minutes on the clock, Dutke works to that right side again and draws another foul for her 4th trip there. Dutke's 3 for 6, shooting 50% at the line tonight, below her 73% average on the season. But she'll net that one in. All 3 points for the Mavericks here in half number 2 have been by the way of the free throw line. As Dutke will go 2 for 2 this time around. That's into 13 on the day for Dutke. She's starting to get closer to her season high that she picked up last week. 16 points against Bismarck High. And Maya Jones, after an impressive start to this game, she's worked into double digits now. 4 Saints have worked into double digits. And their leading scorer on the season is so far the lone starter that has not reached double digits yet, Matea Messer. As Stevenson gets the first field goal in the second half to drop for DHS. 61-36 Saints. Gallo kind of bounces that one, ricochets off a shoe right to Messer, left it short. She was trying to be the 5th Saint to get to double digits. Stevenson trying to brush off Stella Gallick. Does with some help of a screen from Rodakowski. Stevenson lets a shot go. Rodakowski ties up Gallick from behind. And that's going to be a foul on the junior. Rudakowski's third. Jones brings it up. Messer whips it down to Okrup. Gallick, pump fake, drive, loses the ball. One hand slings it to Jones. Out of bounds. Last touch by the senior of Nelson. As head coach Ty Terry relaying the message. They'll play it out to Messer. Messer lets a three go. Not going to get the friendly drop. Ettinger cleanup duty for two. 6 points in the in the second half. A grand total of 15 for the 8th grader Ettinger. And now an offensive foul on Stevenson as she runs into Gallick. Actually, no, that's going to be Rudakowski on the moving screen. That's her 4th, and they will take her out of the game here for now. Her and Fridley will check out. Halverson and Prouse back in. There you see the top corner of your screen, the Dickinson boys team chomping at the bit. Nate Stevenson, Boston Cranston ready to go to work. Right now, 3rd in WDA standings. It's DHS, Okrup to top to Gallick. Gallick hits the pedal. Ettinger to Okrup, back to Ettinger. Ettinger with a nice move. Lily Ettinger. Her 8th point here in the second half alone. She is racking them up. Nelson, though, answers back with the 3. Jenna Nelson's got 8 points. That ties a season high from the season opener. But Maya Jones goes undetected. She's got a dozen. Saints always have an answer here tonight as Stevenson, we had Gallick all around her, draws it loose. Now Jones in transition. She's got Okrup, but blocked away by Nelson. And a whole new crew of Saints check back in on the rotation. It's a hockey rotation for them. 5 in, 5 out. 5 in, 5 out. As they play to Schweitzer, working against Halverson, and Halverson, all sorts of contact there. She'll get called on the foul and send Savannah Schweitzer to the line for her first trip. Has 4 points today. Hit around that season average of 4.7. 0 for 2 last week against Mandan from the line. But we'll hit her first there tonight for her 5th point. And anything more she scores tonight will add on to her season average. She's got now 5 points tonight at that season average mark, and the second one up, and it is good. 2 for 2 for Schweitzer as the Saints up by 30. 69-39. Nelson hands it off to Fisher, carves her way to the rim. Tatum, Fisher with the roll. Head fake there by Lundeen. Schweitzer left it short. Kralik with the rebound. Kralik doing a really good job of just tight roping the line. Finley Schmidt picks up a screen from Lundeen. Back to Lundeen it goes. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Letting one up off the rim. Schweitzer pulls it down and draws the foul on Stevenson. So after Schweitzer already just made her way to the line, she'll make a second trip. And now there'll be another new group of Saints ready to hit the court. Again, one of those 5 in, 5 out substitutions. And Schweitzer, perfect 3 for 3 here tonight. Make it a perfect 4 for 4. They'll take her out with that hockey substitution and get some more younger Saints out on the floor. Got to pull up the sheet here of the couple of players coming off of JV in this one, and there it is, Terry off the JV squad tonight. Terry works it to Wrestler. Now finds it in the Walzer. Moving the ball around. Ellie Dirk. Down to Terry. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Putting up a tough look there. Not going to get the roll for Ellie Dirk. Fisher lose the handle. That one goes out of play. For the St. Mary's team, you had the starting 5, then you had kind of the backup 4 as well with a player off of JV in Celia Ronderos, or at least on the flyer tonight. And now you got a whole crew of players that are jumping up from the JV, and this is some big moments for those young Saints players getting to potentially be some of their first varsity reps on the season and in their careers. As their Saints lead a 71-41 and hit that running clock. As Prowse works into Dutke. Dutke off the left of the rim, gets her own rebound and draws the foul on Terry. Dutke's first one is good. She's been a returning customer at the line tonight. Plenty of trips there. And she's made her last 4 at the charity stripe. For Emily Dutke, she's got 15 points. One away from her season high. Terry flying it down to Ritter. Quick passes. Driving in as Wrestler puts up a shot off the mark. Trying to keep it in is Dirk, but she steps out on the baseline. Got a couple players that are close, if not right around that season high mark on both sides tonight. We'll see when we kind of wrap things up in the post-game show. Who's kind of got that into that season high mark? I think everyone's, I don't know if we've got a season high just yet, but a couple players very close to there. As mid-range jumper not going to fall for Claire Ritter. Now they'll go back from, will you say, the third line back to the second. Again, they're running 3 kind of hockey lines here tonight. So that third line, so the first line to go to the second, and it was kind of going back between those two, but then you got the third line back to the second line of Schmidt, Lundeen, Schweitzer, Kralik, and Ronderos. As Dickinson will get the ball after a foul on Schweitzer. Loose ball, Ronderos picks it up. Flips it up to Schweitzer. Had that one poked by Fisher. Hustle effort by Ronderos. Dukey picks it up. Nice find. Fisher at the other end already, and she will lay it in for 2. Fisher's got 4 points all in the second half. Ronderos. Bounce pass to Schweitzer with 4:32 remaining. As Saints lead 71-45. Ronderos cuts through. Pump fake by Lundeen. Works to the baseline. And now she'll be tied up by Jenna Nelson. Possession arrow favors Dickinson as Fridley checks in for Stevenson. Prowse walks it up. Slings it into the near corner to Fridley. Fridley drives, plays it up to Dutke. Here comes Prowse for three, in and out. Rebounded. They go in the opposite direction. Renderos lays it in to Lundy. Now from the left side of the court to the right. Nice little find to Schmidt. Another nice find to Kralik, who's batted out of the air by Nelson from behind. Runs her down. Schweitzer, though, trying to clean things up for some points. Nelson just going to throw that one up, and here comes Dutke on the other end. Not going to get the roll. Plenty of chances for St. Mary's. Just could not get that bucket, and Dickinson couldn't either in transition. Schmidt cut off by Nelson. Just around 3 minutes remaining. We're the Saints on track for their third WDA win on the season. Turn and shoot for Schweitzer. Left it short unless Fisher got her hand on it. Lobbing it down to Fisher. Turn and shoot. Left it short on the low block. Renderos coast to coast. Some contact there as she'll shrug it off and go to the line. As Cecilia first one, a little too strong. As back to that third line, back to that JV Youngin squad. It's a valuable reps. And Dickinson also going to do the same, get some of their younger players some reps here late. As Renderos will get her first point on the night. Put the Saints up 72-45. As Madeline Rudolph and Reese Ryder, a couple of new Mavericks, check in for the first time tonight, as well as Ella Hansen, who's got the ball now. Hansen, little spinorama, lays it out to Rudolph. Nice little head fake. Try to lay it back to Hansen, who's pressured. Hansen draws the foul. And they're going to call that one on Ellie Dirk. As Ella Hansen. First one is good on the bonus. As Hansen's got her first point. Second one just as good as the first one. Hansen starting to get some reps here late in games last week. There's a couple of her first points in her varsity career here tonight. Work it down low to Dirk. Pump fake by Wrestler. Settles in. Elbow jumper. Battle for the ball as good work there by Terry. Getting her hands in the mix for St. Mary's. Forcing a jump ball, and that will keep St. Mary's having possession. Lobs it all the way to the top of the key. Quick catch and drive. Left hand finish for Jenna Walliser. That's Walliser's first bucket on the night. As the Saints lead 74-47, 90 seconds left. Taken away by Tay. Terry takes a peek behind her, the steal, the score. As she gets a nice ovation from her bench. Another new Saint into the score sheet. Rudolph looks down low. It's poked away and hauled in by Claire Ritter. It's a Wrestler with a three-point try, hauled in, and now throwing to Rudolph in transition, trying to go for the home run play to Hansen. It's picked off by Terry with 50 seconds remaining. Hands it off, and there is the bucket for Claire Ritter. A Couple last possessions in this one as Ryder swatted away by Terry. As shot clock at 18 seconds. Last, this will be shut off now as Hansen has it at the top. Spin around and draws the foul with 8.5 remaining. That one left short from Hansen. 2 for 3 at the line tonight. And she'll make it 3 for 4, making her last one as Terry dribbles it up, hands it off to Ritter, and they will hold, and that will be the end of the ball game as the Saints pick up the win, 78-48, picking up their third win inside the WDA on the season. Their 5th win on the campaign as they pick it up with a 30-point victory and get some valuable experience for some of those young players off the bench for the Saints here tonight. Well, we're heading on over the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show, wrap things up, and then we're going to start getting ready here momentarily for the pregame show for the boys. As, again, that's coming up here shortly, the boys matchup of the doubleheader here tonight. Don't go anywhere.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair.
Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with a hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Points. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's a spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Welcome in to the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show. Drivers in New England, Dickinson, Richmond, Battlefield, Wilson, North Dakota, Glendive, Montana work hard, play hard, need a car to keep up. That's why Charbonneau Car Center choose Doffer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram to line up with their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. Visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. Well, let's put on some highlights for you to enjoy here as we wrap things up here in the girls' part of the doubleheader. But this one started out, St. Mary's kind of goes on that early run, 5-0. Dickinson doing a really good job of just trying to keep them in striking distance. St. Mary's goes up by about 12, works it back down to about 5. Then they work it up again to about that 12 to 14 mark, back down to around 4. But once St. Mary's got up that third time, up by double digits, right at the half, 45 to 30, it was just smooth sailing for St. Mary's. A very impressive start to the second half for them, and allowed them to go up by 30 and allow a couple of their JV players to get some early varsity reps in their early varsity career. So for them, it was just being aggressive, getting some steals, but second chance efforts, put-back efforts, as well as kind of three-point plays and making the most of those opportunities at the charity stripe tonight allowed St. Mary's to pick up the win. Taking a look at scores, we'll start off with home team DHS. Leading the way was Emily Dutke with 15 points and 2 3-pointers there for her. 16 points is her career high, just falling a point short of that. Jenna Nelson ties her season high of 8 points tonight. Tatum Fisher had 4. Evelyn Fridley with 2. 6 points for Allie Stevenson, 5 for Abby Browse, 5 also on the day for Evie Halverson, and 3 points for Ella Hansen off the bench there in the closing minutes. Now for St. Mary's, here's some numbers for you. 12 different Saints scored a point tonight, 4 in double digits. We'll start off with some of those young guns, Claire Ritter, as well as Jenna Walliser, Tay Terry, and Maggie Krolick, and Olivia Lundeen, all with 2 points. A point for Celia Renderos. And then you start moving in. Savannah Schweitzer, 8 points off the bench. And now that starting 5, their leader on the season, 8 points of Matea Messer. But then the rest of that starting lineup all in double digits. Stella Gallick with 11, 12 for Maya Jones, an impressive start for her. Gallick had really good defense. Jones just was that player to really give them that bolt early on in that contest. And then Journey Okrup with 13 points, and Lily Edinger with 17. That was a team high for Edinger. And Lily Edinger also going to be tagged tonight with as our player of the game, brought to you by Sport Clips. Lily Edinger, the 8th grader, dazzled tonight, and she just had one of those performances tonight where, hey, making away in the post, in the paint, able to get second chance efforts. Her teammate misses it, she's there to clean it up, put it back in for 2. Played a big part of kind of helping this St. Mary's team pull away from Dickinson. That Dickinson was really pesky there throughout, especially in that first half, and St. Mary's was able to find that footing, and Lily Edinger a big part of that, and is our Sports Clips MVP of the game. So those are your highlights as well as your MVP tonight. And as we wrap things up, let's take a look at the move of the game. And it's going to go up against Journey Okrup, who had a 13-point performance tonight. There you see she works down to the paint. A little razzle-dazzle, puts you in the washer, spin cycle, and lays it in. It was so nice. You got to watch it twice. There it is again. Starts it at the top of the key, works down to that paint, and perfection with the kiss off the glass. Well, that is going to do it for the post-game show, brought to you by Charbonneau Car Center here in game number 1 of the St. Mary's Dickinson doubleheader. So let's transition from the post-game to the pregame, Pregame show for the boys, brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, is coming up when we return.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day. This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged, the stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Well, the girls have wrapped up again. Final score, St. Mary's 78, Dickinson 48. And now it's time for the boys as we welcome you into the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is your locally owned oil change headquarters. 25 years, Lundin's taking care of people. Local actually matters, not to mention this oil change is a stay in your car, drive-through oil change. Typically performed in 15 minutes or less. You can find them in Minot and in Bismarck. It's Valvoline Instant Oil Change. As we get ready for the boys matchup, and hey, it's going to be a fun one. But before we dive into these two teams, let's take a look at where they stand. We'll take a look at the polls first. And we focused about that right side earlier. Now let's focus on the left side. As Century, all 15 first place votes. They're 12-0. Bismarck right behind them, 11-1. Horace sits in third, 11-2, moving up a spot. Dickinson in fourth, and Davies in fifth. Dickinson, as you see, has 3 losses on the year. Well, could you guess what 3 teams they lost to? What if I said they're the 3 teams that are ahead of them in the standings? Yes, there are 3 losses coming at Century, Bismarck, and Horace. Everyone else, Dickinson has been victorious against, and they move up to number 4 this week after Davies lost both of their games to go down from 3 to 5. It allows and opens the door for West Fargo and Legacy to receive some votes this week. Now let's take a look at the AA basketball standings. Let's take a look at that west side of the state against Century and Bismarck and Dickinson. 1, 2, and 4 in the state. They're 1, 2, 3 in the west. Minot 6 and 3 is number 4. Legacy at 5 and Mandan at number 6. It's just crazy seeing a team like Mandan and Legacy, seeing how good those teams are, and saying, oh yeah, those are 5 and 6. Those are kind of the middle teams so far in the West. Shows you just how quality this conference has been this season, and there's still some teams that can still make some noise below them too. I mean, St. Mary's, we'll see tonight, they have some big-time playmakers. Minot North, Braden Blickery, he's fun to watch. Jamestown and Williston, they kind of can hang around with some teams from time to time. So it's going to be fun when we get to that WDA tournament time. But right now, Century finds them the way at the top there. And then over on the EDC, Horace leads the way. Again, they're ranked number 3 in the state. West Fargo receiving votes this week, sitting at number 2. Davies 4th in the EDC, but sit right now 5th in the state. And then there's a look over there out of the east. Well, let's now start jumping into this matchup. St. Mary's 5 and 6, 2 and 6 in WDA play, coming off of a loss against Mandan, who again a really quality team. And really a tough week for them. They had to take on number 1 Century and then a tough opponent in Mandan. And in that Century game, score-wise, they did really good. They only lost by 8 points to the number 1 team in the state. And they followed it up by another gritty performance, just falling by 13, 56-69 to Mandan. Big part of that, though, was they lost out on some key things. The transition game, 9 points compared to Mandan's 27. Points in the paint, they lost out 26-44. But were able to win on offensive rebounds, 14-11, and really what kept them in that game against Mandan was the free throw percentages, 78% compared to the Braves is 55%. But right now on a 3-game skid, and in that time, losses to Minot North, Century, and Mandan, all 15 points or less. So this is a team that has been able to keep these games pretty close, especially as of late. For Dickinson, 8-3 on the year, 6-2 in WDA, sit fourth in the state polls, third inside the conference. And last week had to take on the number 2 team in the state, fell to Bismarck by 7 points, 78-85, came down to the end, and then they bounced back against Jamestown late last week, 88-72, and dominated the transition game, 30-7. Dominated the points in the paint, 58-38. Offensive rebounds, 28, and steals, 19-9. And kind of that note is the things that St. Mary's kind of struggled with against Mandan were things that Dickinson did really well in their last game against Jamestown. So St. Mary's definitely going to maybe need for them to make those adjustments in that transition game, points in the paint, stuff they want to limit Dickinson from trying to pull away with. Dickinson, one of the top scoring teams in not only WDA, not only in AA, in the state. They are second in WDA, second in AA, and second in the entire state, all 3 classes in scoring with 86 points per game. And defensively giving around 73 for St. Mary's, averaging around 70 points, giving up around 73. That puts them 7th in the conference in both those stats. Let's take a break, and when we come back, well, we've got starting lineups and key players when we return.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers in Mandan.
Welcome back in here tonight as we have got a fun one here tonight as a big kind of viewing here, and maybe something that Dickinson did not want to see, because if they played each other previously before it getting postponed, they would have not had to see this starting 5 for St. Mary's. And that starting 5 is Dominic Zander, averaging 5 points, 4 rebounds per game. The exciting sophomore, Trayson Terry, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists per matchup. Jackson Barth, he dominates the paint, standing at 6'5", 15 points, 6 rebounds per game. Brooks Armstrong, 8 points, 6 rebounds, and welcome back to the 6'1" senior. Played the first 5 games of the season, but have missed the last 6. Welcome back, Christian Benning, and he's a 2-time All-WDA player that would have not been in the lineup last week, or 2 weeks ago when these 2 teams were initially scheduled to play. For Dickinson, it is their normal crew: Cameron Wolf, the big man, Dylan Glazer, Jordan Daychild, and then the dynamic duo of Nate Stevenson and Boston Cranston. Oh, have the stakes been raised with Christian Benning back in the lineup as Dominic Zander flips it out to Trayson Terry. Terry trapped inside a double team, and he will travel out of it. Dickinson's defense comes up with a big stop. Cranston. To the top of the key. Spins it out today. Child now to Cameron Wolf at the right wing. He'll wave everyone out. Back to a nice little backdoor cut. Glosser to Daychild. Jordan Daychild skips it off the rim. Brought down by Stevenson. He lays it in for two. Nate Stevenson, a big-time player. As Trayson Terry fouled to start. So Trayson Terry fouled early. He has the ball and works it out to Barth. Nice find to Xander in the far corner. Christian Benning whips it down. What a pass. Barth with the finish. That is what Christian Benning brings to the table for the Saints. Wolf with the answer back. 4-2. Brooks Armstrong trying to break this early press. Xander to Barth. They do. Transition to Terry. Almost loses it. Finds it to the cutting Armstrong. Goes to his right hand and lays it in. Keeping good pace here as the Saints bench getting loud as Cranston brings it up. Cranston sees at the corner of his eye. Wolf flashes open, fires the three. Hauled in by Glosser on the other end. Cranston steps it in. Right wing three. Swirls off, and now Wolf into Daychild. Pump fake once, now to Glosser. He'll head fake, step back. Good ball move. It's taken away, though, by Jackson Barth, the 6'5" senior. Barth standing tall at the top of the key. Hands it off to Armstrong. Had it poked for a second. Armstrong flees out of the area. Hands it off to Trayson Terry. Terry pressured by Daychild. Wolf comes in with the help. Steals it away. And it's blocked on the other direction. Wolf wants a block or a foul. Won't get one. Benning hits the brakes at the free throw line. Dickinson wants a travel. Won't get one. As Stevenson now gets the rebound and now going to calm down the fans here. Stevenson to Cranston. Not going to go this time. Off the rim and back out. The energy in this building has really picked up here to start this game. As Cranston pokes it away. Glosser. He's got a whole bunch of blue jerseys around him, so he'll just make sure nothing happens and reconvene at the top until Benning picks him off. Christian Benning for two. Welcome back. After missing 6 consecutive games, he is back in the lineup. Cranston draws the foul on Dominic Xander. And Keller Hertz Barnett will be checking in. Well, no, Keller Hertz Barnett will not be checking in. Excuse me. They had him right at the line there. I think he was going to check in as Cranston's first one is good. I think he was going to check in for Benning. But Benning, I think, waved him off, so no, he's good. I think they're going to probably try to rotate him in and out. Give him plenty of rest on his first game back in the lineup. As Cranston goes a perfect 2 for 2. Slow roller there to Terry. Poked away. Cranston draws the foul. Hits hard. As he quickly jumps back to his feet. Kind of one of those ones where you kind of hold your breath as he hit the hardwood, but looks like he is okay. And Cranston has 3 points and puts the Mavericks on top, 7-6. And that one gets a friendly roll off the front of the rim, off the backboard and in. Barth has it poked away by Ethan Luna. He points the opposite direction, but won't get the call he was looking for. Again, Ethan Luna, like Benning, missed some time early on in the season due to an injury, but he's back in that lineup and has been in the last couple of games off the bench. So floated up to Armstrong. Back to Barth, who's at last touchdown. Referee said DHS, stays Saints basketball. Bounce pass to Barth. Give it back to Benning. Off the back iron into the hands of Orton. Cranston to Tatum Bollinger. From the free throw line, now Stevenson, a little shake, starts to drive in. Pivots around, back to Bollinger. Tatum slices in, works the right hand hard off the glass. End-to-end action, pivot move on the Euro step for Benning as he draws the foul. So Christian Benning called on the foul. Or draws the foul, and Benning makes the first one work. Benning puts his left foot right on that line. He goes 2 for 2 on his first trip back as he will tie this thing up 8-8, and this time Benning will take his first breather in the contest with 14:08 remaining in a tie game. Glauser to Bollinger. Bollinger fakes a pass to Orton. Now will get it to Tristan Orton, checking in off the bench. Plays it to the top of the key to Glauser. Works to the left wing now. Chest pass. St. Mary's keeping the intensity on the bench, and they will like Brady Gertzman, the freshman that gets his hand in the passing lane. 8-8. Even ball game here. That one hits off the front of the rim. Trayson Terry. Finally to Xander. Now to Armstrong. Plays back to the top. Kurtzman to Terry. And he travels. That one forced on the travel call. Just pressuring there was Tristan Orton. In a tie game, 8-8. Orton. Triple team finds it out. Cameron Wolf wide open, skips off the rim. Kurtzman goes down hard as the freshman takes a big bump, but he is okay after a foul on Ethan Luna. Double team Armstrong. Glauser pokes it loose on the baseline, swipes it in the direction of Luna, but it goes past him and into the hands of Kurtzman. Or excuse me, of Hertz Barnett. Hertz Barnett to Kurtzman. Nice little find, opens it up for Trayson Terry. Can't get the three-pointer to go. Who's the one that last touch? They were going hand in hand, Hertz Barnett and Wolf. They both had hands on each other as they run out of bounds. And they will stay on the right side of the court for the Saints. Try it again right in front of the Dickinson bench. Terry just lobs it as high as he could right into the hands of Benning. Over to Armstrong. Low dribble, lane opens up, he takes advantage, lays it in for two, and the foul for Armstrong. So Brooks Armstrong on the end one. We saw St. Mary's girls team have plenty of three-point play tries. And now we'll see it again here. Here on now the boys' side is Armstrong. A little heavy on the free throw. Brought down by Hertz Barnett. Armstrong peels it back. Barnett hands it off to Benning. Pump fake and drive. Now kind of a no look, try to send it into Hertz Barnett, and it pops off his arm into the hands of Wolf. Date Child with the head fake. As Dickinson now working to the left side, now to the down low. Wolf getting closer to the paint, getting into a cutting Stevenson. Stevenson draws the foul, and 1 for Nate Stevenson. Stevenson ties this one back up. And a timeout before the free throw going to take place. We'll take one with them as we've got a tie ball game here in the Queen City.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters, unlike those guys. We take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories.
And we welcome you back in as it's Nate Stevenson going in on the full 3-point play. Drew the foul as we come out of the First International Bank and Trust timeout, and he will drain it. 5 points on the day for Stevenson, and he puts the Mavericks up 11-10. Armstrong tried to go low. It's poked away. Daychild works up. Spin move by Cranston. Hauled down by Hertz Barnett. He whips it out into the way of Benning. Oh, a little razzle-dazzle behind the back dribble and lays it in for 2. Christian Benning wasting no time getting back into this lineup. Cranston chucks up a 3-pointer, not going to fall. And the Saints have the lead with the 11-28, trying to add to it. Benning with a deep ball. Off the rim, hauled down by Wolf. Cameron Wolf drives down to the paint. Plays it to Daychild. Now to Glauser, top of the key, 3 in and out. Cannot fall there for number 2 in white. For the DSU football commit, Armstrong goes right up against him, misses the shot. Benning on the putback, a 3rd attempt, not going to go. Benning, and then on a 4th attempt will be fouled. At first, if you don't succeed, try again. That's what Benning does there, and he will head to the line for 2. First one is good. 13-11 Saints. Benning looking for a big day. And right now, he is having one. He has got 8 points, 8 of the 14 for the Saints. Glauser slings it out to Daychild, now to Cranston. Glauser fakes to the left, works to the right. Good zone defense right here for the Saints. Wolf had to look where his feet were as he was close to the baseline. Now he loses his dribble. Xander all over him. Chucks one down low. And just a little hot and heavy there for Stevenson to haul in. As Paxton Leeson will check in for the first time today for Cameron Wolf. Paxton Leeson known for coming in and hitting some 3-pointers. So keep an eye there on number 15 with the green shoes in the white and orange. Barth hands it off to Benning. Flips it to Armstrong. Quick pass into the paint to Barth. Barth working against Stevenson to the left hand off the glass. Stevenson. His pass off the mark, and Dickinson trying to get those passes down. They're trying to keep on working them to the paint, but just continue just to be a little off course, maybe a little bit too hard to handle for the teammate down low. As Terry pushing off a Daychild. The press double team working to perfection for the Mavs with Cranston and Daychild trapping Terry and forcing him to his first foul. 4th on as a team. Team fouls right now 5-4. Dickinson has that extra team foul this far. Stevenson, nice find to Cranston, out of the Glauser. They got an extra man. Daychild wide open. He buries it. Jordan Daychild buries the three. St. Mary's was playing aggressive on defense, paid the price. Leeson plays great defense in transition, pokes it off of Barth and out of play. Daychild tying it up. Leeson with a big defensive stand, and the Mavs have the ball in a tie game, 14-all, with 9:43 remaining in the first half. Stevenson with a no-look pass to Leeson. Cranston almost has that one taken away before he could get it by Trayson Terry. Leeson into Stevenson. Working to the low block. Quick pass to Daychild, who just hit the three. He'll go for a floater, leaves it short into the hands of Xander. St. Mary's down the court. Lob it into Barth, and he has it poked away by Glauser, who sails in late. Armstrong checks out. Brady Kurtzman checks in. The freshman that had 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals against Mandan on Friday. Barth fakes the handoff, now drives in. Plays it off of Leeson into Xander. Here comes Benning. Left-hand floater. It is pure. Saints say, hey, give us back the lead. They got it, 16-14. Leeson takes one way now to the other. Hits off a deflection. Opens up for Cranston. He'll drive in, tries to pass it down low to Wolf, and it's blocked away by Terry. Barth in transition. Wolf holding his own for now. Kurtzman flying in. Kurtzman found out that him and Barth, both teammates, had the ball, and they're going to get called on a travel. They both had the ball, and I think they both were kind of moving, didn't realize that they were teammates. Little friendly fire, and will allow Dickinson to come away with it. Cranston wastes no time, buries the three, step up and drain it. Give Dickinson back the lead. We're trading the lead. Back and forth we go. Wolf swats him away. And Benning fouls Cranston shortly after. Well, a WDA Monday night. They don't happen often, but it's happening because of a postponement makeup game. And hey, it's living up to the billing. It's been a fun one. 17-16. Dickinson has the lead. Timeout, St. Mary's.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There are some things in life we can't control. But what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
17-16 after Cranston's three-pointer put them up top by 1. Leeson slings it out to Glauser. Wolf starts to drive, wasting no time. He draws the foul on Barth. So Jackson Barth, the guilty party for the Saints' 16 foul, his first. 17-16, 8:02 remaining. They get it into Cranston, quick catch and put it up for 2. Those inbound plays, sometimes you got to engineer them. This one was just, hey, get it in, put up a shot. Simple. Barth flies in. There's the response for Jackson Barth, averaging 15 points per game. He's got 4 thus far. As Xander and Cranston were caught up all awkwardly. 3-point shy, not going to go. Wolf picks down the board. Leeson hauls in, swings it. Wolf letting the three go, skips off the rim. Glauser tries to keep it alive and cannot. Did not know if that was initially going to be off of Barth or Wolf. I think Glauser thought, oh, it's going to be off on my teammate, so we'll try to keep it in. Tatum Bollinger will check into the game. Xander all caught up. That'll be Mavericks' 6th team foul. This one the first on Leeson. So both teams at 6. We're sniffing bonus free throws on any foul coming up next on either team. Benning. Multi-time all WDA player gets it on to Kurtzman. Barr trying to clean it up, but Wolf fends him off and brings down the rebound. Leeson scurries down the court. Cranston sails in and lips in for Cranston. Xander one hand hauls it in on the half court heave down to him. Feeds it into Benning. Down by 3. Benning to a wide open Kurtzman. Why not let it fly up and over the rim? And a foul on a part of the rebound as Wolf shoved from behind. Jackson Barth on his second, and we are into bonus territory. And Cameron Wolf going to get a one-on-one. You make the first one, you shoot a second. If you miss the first one, you don't get a second look. As Paxton Leeson will check out. Jade Child back in, and they'll motion Jade Child into that block, and they'll kick out Stevenson. Cameron Wolf too strong on the bonus free throw and allows the Saints to race down the other end. Xander hands it off to Terry Bollinger, and Daychild going to try to quickly double team him there. Aggressive defense for Dickinson. Kurtzman. Pass for Hertz Barnett. Taken away. Cranston to Stevenson in transition. Reverses to the opposite side. Could not quite get it to go. Xander overheads it to Hertz Barnett. Terry back to Hertz Barnett. Double teamed. Quick passing. Opening up for Armstrong. In and out. Mid-range jumper. Not going to fall. Bangs off the rim 3 times, and it falls into the hands of the Mavs. Wolf pump fake driving in. Stevenson had it jarred loose. Gets the rebound, but could not hold on to it. Stevenson has his nose all kind of gauzed up, so might have had a bloody nose or something when he was when he checked out earlier. But hey, that's not going to faze him. He'll continue to battle it out. Hertz Barnett fakes the left, works to the right, can't get the friendly roll. Stevenson evacuates with it. Stevenson for Daychild. He's already got a 3. He wants another, not going to go. Terry racing down the other end. A lefty hits the brakes and fires it and drains it. Drayson Terry, believe it or not, he's got 2 points. That's only his first bucket. The player averaging 20 on the season. Wolf down to Stevenson and 1. Get the bucket, draw the foul, Stevenson. Gets the foul on Keller Hertz Barnett as Nate's got 7 points. Wolf and Daychild will check out. Orton and Logan Bedsole will check in with a 3-point lead. Off the back of the rim. It's 1 for 2 at the line today for Stevenson. 5 minutes before the Charbonneau Car Center intermission show. Armstrong working against Bedsole, just checked in, tries to drive his way into the paint. Bedsole does not let him. Hertz Barnett, too strong. Stevenson brings it down. The student section getting rowdy here in Dickinson. Stevenson into the paint against Benning. Out to Orton. Buries a 3 in front of the St. Mary's bench. Tristan Orton, he can shoot a three as good as any. He puts Dickinson up with it, I think, is the biggest lead on either side. It's 6 points thus far. Armstrong can't get his three to fall. Hertz Barnett hauled it down, but it was stolen away by Stevenson and Bollinger. Stevenson fakes the pass. He wanted the shot. Not going to fall for him. Terry's got some help, but he's going to take it coast to coast. Oh, lots of contact. Doesn't matter for Trayson Terry. Bollinger coming off his season high, 9 points last week against Jamestown. Tristan Orton, he's feeling it. 2 3-point attempts, 2 3-point makes for Orton. 29-22, Terry trying to shake Bollinger away, but he's one of the top defenders for a reason. Not gonna bite on Terry's move there. Benning to Armstrong. Can't get the mid-range. Kurtzman brings it down, quickly goes up, left-hand finish for Kurtzman. I think Logan Betzel might have got an elbow in the face there, but looks like he's just going to power this one away. Kind of clenching his teeth as he's getting into the far corner. Bollinger with a beautiful find to Stevenson. 31-24. We are trading buckets left, right, and center. Hertz Barnett's pass sails into the student section. They've been a rowdy bunch tonight. Logan Betzel, Nate Stevenson going to take a breather. As Cranston and Glaser join back in. Cranston works it off the screen from Wolf. No look to Glaser, now to Bollinger. Bounces into Wolf with 2:28 remaining. Cranston, a little shimmy, a little shake, drives in, not going to get the roll. Orton flies in, Cranston, left hand, lay in. Cranston, an unofficial 13 points out of the Mavericks 33. An official tally at the half. Loose ball right into the hands of Cameron Wolf. Back to Cranston. Leaves it short, second chance, spins off the rim. Cranston jabbing at it as Cameron Wolf slow to get up. Terry buries the three. Trayson Terry took advantage of the numbers game as Wolf favoring his left knee, and Dan Glaser going to take a timeout to allow Wolf to make his way to the bench with some help from Tristan Orton. As the Saints answer back after Dickinson took their largest lead of the ballgame, they were up by 9, but now it's a 6-point gap as we take a break with them.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Estvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Estvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Trayson Terry brings him back within 6 as Cameron Wolf exits the game after kind of coming up a little slow. We'll take a look, or we'll keep you updated on that front as the game progresses. See if we see him back again. As Cranston skips it off the rim. Actually, no, excuse me, Cameron Wolf is back in the game as he made diving effort there. I was looking towards the bench. I didn't see him, and I thought, oh, maybe he went in. Nope, he sticks on the court. So, hey, showing his toughness. Maybe just a stinger or something of that sort there on the knee. Looks like he is okay. Barr flips it on. Head fake, Benning, NBA three, it rattles in. Christian Benning. Have yourself a ball game. Puts the Saints within 3. Cameron Wolf Pump fake, drive, kick it out. Cranston says, I want a 3-2 off the right of the rim. After being down by 9, the Saints could tie this game up or pull within 1 before the half. Benning to Barth. Beautiful find. Three seconds separate the shot clock and the game clock. 25 on the game clock. Wolf bringing it all the way back to the half-court line before setting it up. Mavericks up by 1, looking to extend the lead before half. Cranston was wide open, elects not to take the shot, kill more time. Cameron Wolf, 7 seconds, 3 on the shot clock as Orton is swatted away. Daychild tries to keep it alive as St. Mary's says, wait a second, put some more time on the clock. Will they get that request? No, they're going to say 1 second is what they've got. Benning hauls it into Xander. And no time runs off. And I think Dickinson, let's see how aggressive they want to be. They will half-court heave it with Orton, not going to make its way there, but a strong close to the half by St. Mary's, who was down by 9. 8 straight points, puts them within 1 as we enter the Charbonneau Car Center intermission show with Dickinson up 33-32.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
When disasters strike, we don't just clean up the damage, we rebuild what was lost. With over 75 years of experience, we turn disaster zones back into homes, businesses, and peace of mind. From cleanup to repair and full restoration, our trained professionals are with you every step, so you're never facing it alone. Because when you hire trained professionals, you get trusted results. Call ServPro in Minot, Bismarck, or Williston today.
At Planning Team Financial Advisors, we help individuals create their personalized strategies. We specialize in financial planning, retirement planning, insurance, and 401k distribution options. Don't leave your future to chance. Call Planning Team Financial Advisors today for a free retirement review. Planning Team Financial Advisors, your plan, your future, your team.
Well, we have got a ball game halfway done and a lot more action yet to come here tonight. As we welcome you to the Charbonneau Car Center Intermission Show. They know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richmond, Battlefield, Wilson, North Dakota, Glendive, Montana work hard, play hard, need a car that keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Line up at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. Visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. Well, let's get those game highlights on the screen. As a very exciting back and forth game, Dickinson started to kind of, well, first of all, it was kind of St. Mary's that kind of had a little bit of that lead. They kind of scored first, Dickinson scored first, but then it was St. Mary's that was maybe up by a bucket. Kind of played some back and forth action. There's Christian Benning. Welcome back after missing 6 straight games. He's back here tonight, and he is dazzling. But after it was back and forth, traded away, Dickinson started to pull away towards the end of the half. They would go work it up to the biggest lead of the game, up by 9 with just a few minutes before halftime. However, St. Mary's was not done. Trayson Terry hit a big-time three-pointer to go from 9 down to 6, and everything kind of fell and followed suit after that, and they worked it down to the gap of just 1 as we enter halftime. So 33-32 Dickinson. Taking a look at the scores so far, Dickinson led by Boston Cranston with 13 points. Nate Stevenson has 9. Tristan Orton with a pair of three-pointers with 2. Then it's Jordan Dadechild with a three-pointer and Cameron Wolf with 2 points. For St. Mary's, again, if these two teams played each other a couple of weeks ago when it was planned, and 2 weeks ago when this game was planned but it got postponed due to the weather, Christian Benning was injured. He would have not partaked in this game against Dickinson. Well, he is back, and he is lighting up the score sheet. Great to see Christian Benning back inside, back on the basketball court, an all-WDA player, and two-time all-WDA player. They trying to make it a 3-time of his performances this season, but 13 points, a three-pointer, and 4 for 4 at the charity stripe. Welcome back, Christian Benning. He's getting some help, though, as Trayson Terry might have hit the biggest three-pointer of the game, just momentum-wise, from down by 9 to that momentum, helping them kind of pull back within 1. Terry, 7 points. Jackson Barth was 6, 4 for Brooks Armstrong, and 2 for Brady Kurtzman. Well, it has been an exciting first 18 minutes. Well, let's decide a winner here yet. So we've got 18 more minutes that we put on the board, but how is this going to be determined? Dickinson, their shots when they started falling, they started pulling away, but then it kind of reversed. I mean, it was back and forth action so much, and then it was kind of a game of a run. Dickinson pulls away, St. Mary's reels them back in. We'll see how we started out, and I think the first maybe 3-4 minutes could be the biggest kind of the biggest to most influential part of this game, these first kind of 4 minutes of this second half, because, hey, are we going to get this back and forth action? Are we going to get Dickinson pulling away? Are we going to get St. Mary's taking the lead and then they pull away? I mean, there's so many different sides this could go. So it all kind of determines this 4 minutes to kind of get off to your start. Either team trying to pull away, take the lead. You want to minimize your time playing from behind. You want to play with that lead. But right now, these two teams stuck like glue not letting each other get away past double digits here tonight. All single-digit gap in the first half of play. And right now, it's the stars on display. The WDA stars from last year, Christian Benning and Boston Cranston, each with 13 points in the first half. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we have got the second half of action, and that means we are just a little bit closer to deciding a winner on a little Monday night WDA Hoops here on the PSP Network.
Every football fan has their Sunday routine. Maybe it's setting your lineup, firing up the grill, or claiming your spot on the couch. But the center of every Sunday is the drive. The morning drive home before kickoff. The drive to your buddy's watch party. Wherever you're headed, we can take you there.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day. So you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
A little Renegade action here inside the DHS Gymnasium. If you're a Steelers fan such as myself and our camera operator, Zach Sprague, got Mike McCarthy at the helm of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that's enough football talk. Let's get back into the hardwood as we have got a fun one. It's shaking out to be an electric finish here tonight as Dickinson leads over St. Mary's 33-32. You minus that around, it's just a 1-point lead. Number 1, Jordan Dadechild starts us off with the ball. He'll hand it off to Stevenson. He takes it off back to Dadechild. Stevenson, overhand pass near the student section. Wolf will haul it down and go to work. Little spin move. Nice find. Stevenson into the paint. Back out to Dadechild. He shows his speed. Top of the key. 3 for Glauser. Just off to the right. Christian Benning, he had a fantastic start to this game in his first game back from injury. Barth hands it off to Terry. Back to Barth, wide open, and it was big for Xander, sealing the edge. As refs kind of stops the play momentarily, but looks like we're ready to go. But Barth had a defender on him, and Xander just got in the way of the defender and just pinned him back, so it was all wide open Barth. Great work there for the Saints, who find themselves now up by 1. Cranston to Wolf, spin move, fade away, high off the glass. Benning works to his left, finds it to Barth, draws the foul on Boston Cranston. Jackson Barth averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds per game. Around 60% from the charity stripe on the season. As Barth's first one tonight finds its way in. He's got 9 points tonight and puts the Saints up by 2. Make it up by 3. He's a perfect 2 for 2. Jackson Barth in double digits tonight. Glauser loses the handle. Pesky defense from Brooks Armstrong helping jar that one loose. Tatum Bullinger checks in. Well, Tatum Bullinger was our spotlight player tonight. 3 points, 4 rebounds per game, but coming off of a 9.3 three-pointer game last weekend against Jamestown, and that was a season high for Tatum Bollinger. Benning works to the left, lobs it up to Xander, and out of play. And our spotlight was on Trayson Terry tonight, the sophomore, 20 points per game, 5 rebounds per game. Season high 32 against Wilson, had 19, 5 and 7 assists, as well as 4 steals against Mandan last week. And he could have had probably the biggest momentum-changing play in the first half of the three-pointer. Stevenson called on an offensive foul by Benning, and Dan Glauser could not believe it as he thought Benning went down a little easy. Wanting a flop call, referee though backing away and didn't want anything to hear from Glauser. As Benning draws the call, and now he'll bring it up right at the Maverick logo. Down to Armstrong in the near corner, finds it on a bounce pass to Barth. High above his head, hands it off to Armstrong. Head fake. Driving down, and there's a carry on Brooks Armstrong. A little over 2 minutes here in the first half, or the second half. Dickinson still looking for their first bucket in the second half. Cranston, 3-point shot, 3-point make. Boston. Cranston said, let's tie this one up at 36 apiece. Why don't we? Tie game, 36-36. Trayson Terry soaring high. Loose ball, hauled in by Armstrong. Terry was wanting it all, and he is called, I think, out of bounds. He had his foot right on the line. Yeah, and this intensity pick it up. Cranston, he tied this one up with a 3-pointer. Bounce pass, fine down low to Wolf. He'll pivot back. Stevenson to Cranston, sees a lane, contact, Barth denies him. Right at the low block. Benning, one hand, slings it down to Barth. He's got the size advantage, and he will get it against Cranston and call a flop. Glauser and the Dickinson faithful cannot believe it. I mean, that's a tough point to call a flop because Cranston was in the air. But regardless, it's going to be a flop call nonetheless. And Coach Glauser wanted a or excuse me, no, wait a second. It's going to be the flop on the other side. The Saints, I'm very confused of what is happening. Because Cranston is shooting the free throws. So St. Mary's gets the bucket with Barth, but Barth gets the flop call. Because Coach Glauser thought it was on Cranston. He wasn't happy until it kind of got relayed to him. Cranston going to go 1 for 2 and bring this within a 2-point basketball game. Coach Edsel was now talking over with the referee. I mean, it's a tough call either way. I mean, now it's a 1-point game. 37-38. The free throw point is on the board. With that contact, I guess they're going to call that on the Saints. I thought they called it on DHS, but now taking advantage of it is DHS. They get the bucket, they get a free throw, and now they get a bucket to take the lead, 39-38. Trayson Terry trying to shake and bake. Nice little spin move, puts it up and just slips out. Cameron Wolf jogs up the court. Wolf lays it to Daychild, back up to Cranston. Hits the brakes, fade away off his back foot, not gonna go. Sanders got one man to beat it. Stevenson cannot, tries to hit Hertz Barnett in transition, poked away. Now he'll get it to Hertz Barnett. Works to the right hand, leaves it short. 39, 38, 13, 45. Stevenson all by his lonesome. He was in his own zip code, and he makes the Saints pay. He's got a dozen on the night, and the Saints wanting to talk things over as Dickinson regains the lead, and they're up by 4, 42-38.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
A momentum-changing play after Jackson Barth was called on a flopper. It was motioned, and at that point, he was the shooter. Cranston goes down, and I didn't think you could call it on Cranston either. And they called it a flop. All the student section, the crowd, and me included, thought it was on Cranston. And then they said it was on Barth, and Cranston was shooting free throws, so everyone was kind of confused, including myself. But either way, then Cranston goes on, makes a free throw, and makes a bucket shortly after, and they've got a 4-point lead, 42-38. Benning, blocked by Tatum Pollinger. They whip it out to Xander in the corner. Big-time three for Dominic Xander. And I think there's another tech or bench mine are going to go on the Saints. And back to him talking to Coach Etzel. And Cranston getting the second time he's got free throws all by his lonesome. Not sure who that was called on. Was not called over the PA. It was Trace and Terry that was kind of in the area. Cranston, again, goes 1 for 2 on the kind of tech free throws. So 2 for 4 on the tech free throws altogether. They're not sure who they tagged that one on, if it was on the bench or whatnot, or Xander who made it, but either way, we play on. Cranston, fade away off the back foot again, just leaves it short a second time around. So can't capitalize more points off that possession. Armstrong cut off by Bollinger. Flips it out to Hertz Barnett, on to Armstrong. He wants the lead for St. Mary's, and he will give it to him. Armstrong with his first three-pointer on the night puts the Saints up by 1. Wolf spin move around Hertz Barnett, and he draws the foul on Armstrong. 12:26 remaining. Oh, these two teams, it has been a fun one. St. Mary's 7th in the standings, Dickinson 3rd. This could be right around seeding-wise of the first-round matchup. I mean, if St. Mary's moves up a spot or Dickinson would move down or up a spot, if one of them would move up a spot, it'd be a first-round matchup. And right now, it has been fireworks all night long as Cam Wolf gets the first free throw. I mean, this St. Mary's team, they found a way to compete without Christian Benning, but when you slide him back in, that type of player, and you play 6 games without him, you get a ton of experience. You get other guys to step up, like Trace and Terry, Jackson Barth, Armstrong, Xander, and then you say, oh, now Benning's good to go again from his injury. He comes back and plays at his all-WDA form. And now you've got a crew that has more experience from playing without them. Now they're playing with them, and it's just elevating their game just that much more. As Cameron Wolf gets the one to tie, cannot get the one to take the lead, but Leeson runs down the rebound and gives the Mavs another chance to go up as Wolf draws the foul by Kurtzman. Saints' 4th team foul. Kurtzman's 2nd. As Cameron Wolf going back to the line, went 1 for 2 the last trip just about 5 seconds ago. As tonight, 1 for 4 at the line. And he'll go short on both of them. Normally a 75% free throw shooter, but tonight not going his way at the line tonight. Barth at the top of the key. Hands it off to Armstrong, pressured by Wolf. Armstrong sees a gap, bounce past the bar, taken away by Wolf. Cranston pushing tempo. Daychild heaves it a little too strong, intended for Bollinger. They tried not to even take a dribble, just get in the hands and push it away in direction of Bollinger, but just a little too hard in the direction of zero. Armstrong drops up the court, hands it off to Terry, bounce pass to Barth, who's directing traffic. Benning wanted a three, pressured by Bollinger, not going to get the shot off. Armstrong will evacuate out into the top of the key, hand it off to Benning with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Nice little spin move, left hand finish. Christian Benning puts them back up by 2. Cranston to Wolf, working on the baseline. Jordan, Daychild, give the Mavericks back the lead. With a Daychild three, is second on the night. We are flip-flopping the lead here in the Queen City on a Monday night. Normally you gotta wait till Tuesday or Friday nights for WDA action, not this week. Only one on a Monday. Hey, it is taking the spotlight, as it should. On the foul, that's going to be tagged on Leeson. Thanks for joining us here tonight on a Monday night. If you're a Dickinson fan, we'll be right back here at DHS tomorrow as they take on Williston as Benning flings up a three. Cranston. Left hand, can't get the bounce. Daychild flies in. Little hot potato couldn't haul it in. As inbound the pass is a late sub for Xander. And they're not going to let him in. They'll put him in next go around, as he came in late. As Terry, left hand dribble, had the step on Daychild, but he got some help slowing him down. Benning hands it off. Terry flips a high pass. Benning zips one into Kurtzman, who is fouled on the arm by Boston Cranston. Set it up with that just slingshot pass by Kurtzman. Benning, excuse me. And that's Cranston's second. Fakes the handoff, goes to work. Barth draws the foul and one. Jackson Barth's got 14 points. Horton on his third as he checks in off the bench. Saints back on top. Three-point play is captured. Stevenson to Cranston for three. Left it short. Terry pushes it up to Armstrong. Cranston can't quite run him down. 51-47 Mavericks. Cranston down to Orton. Spinning out of the traffic. 10 minutes remaining. Stevenson. Daychild wanted it, he will get it. Now bounce past it to Stevenson on the far side. Whips it to Orton. He's nailed the three to pull within one. His third three-pointer tonight for Tristan Orton. 9 points off the bench. Benning hands it off to Trayson Terry. Slings it down to Armstrong, who gave them the lead. Barth down low. He extends it once more. 3-point game. Daychild. Not going to take the three the first time, but he's going to take it the second time, and as he should. 53-53. Whatever you can do, I can do better. That is what this game is doing. St. Mary's Dickinson. Well, leaving it all on the line. 53 all. Armstrong finding into the near corner to Benning. Now to Barth. Fakes the pass. Now we'll pass it out. Xander for three. Too strong. Into the hands of Stevenson. Trying to work it into numbers. Stevenson coast to coast. Up and under. No. Off the back of the rim. 8:18 remaining. Armstrong. Head fake. Hands it off. Xander Orton had to try to help defense. Not there in time. Xander makes it over Orton. Just tough on that defensive play. Orton kind of had to guard two people at once. Just how close they were together. Stevenson spins around, brushes off the front of the rim. Loose ball. Daychild tried to poke it loose, but Benning corrals it. Risky pass. Gleason there. Barth, though, saves some points. If Barth didn't come in and poke that away from Gleason, I think Gleason was ready to gun that one down the court. He had Daychild and Stevenson wide open on the opposite side. So Barth with a defensive lead saving play. Cranston can't get the three. Thought he had enough room, so said, hey, we're just going to let it go. But Barth loses the handle. Gleason. Oh, almost going to take a three and saw Terry on his footsteps. Orton wanting a three of his own. He's been hot from behind the arc tonight. But that one too much mustard. Goes up and over the rim. Armstrong with the low dribble up by 2. 7 minutes remaining. Armstrong sees his size advantage for Barth, and he's going to draw the foul on Leeson. That's his third, team 6. So one more foul for the Mavericks would send the Saints into bonus. As Daychild will check out. Terry lobs it into Benning. Benning rolls right into that ball being poked away by Bollinger. And out of play near the student section. (55-53), 6:53 remaining. Armstrong whips it into Trayson Terry. Gonna get a screen from Barth. He's gonna elect to not use it. Flips it back to Armstrong. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Armstrong finds a lane. Swatted away by Cameron Wolf. Thanks out to Northern Plains Heating and Air. There's no other choice to seal your heating and air game than Northern Plains Heating and Air. Call Dylan today at 222-2155. Terry looking down low. Now let's play it up to Armstrong. Finding it to Benning. Benning draws the foul on Clauser and gets the finger roll. Christian Benning in his welcome back game has 17 points. And has put the Saints up by 4 and puts them up by 5. And if memory serves me right, this is the biggest lead for the Saints all ball game. Cranston pivots around, rolls in for Cranston. Barth shovels it on to Armstrong. It's a 2-on-1. Cranston commits the foul. Armstrong with the bucket and one. Cranston's third, not what Dickinson wants to see. But for Armstrong, have yourself a day. 11 points for Brooks Armstrong. That is sniffing his season high of 15. Slingshots off the rim. One-handed by Hertz Barnett. Trayson Terry brushes off the nylon, and oh, if he would have nailed that. You know the St. Mary's fans in attendance tonight that made the trip would have went bonkers for their biggest lead of the what would have been their even the biggest lead of the game. Dickinson trying to find some momentum on the side as they see St. Mary's starting to take advantage in that department. Wolf spins around, and it gives a friendly Maverick roll for Cameron Wolf, and a timeout to be taken. The St. Mary's Saints lead with 5:51 remaining, up by 3, 60-57 when we come back.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it.
Clean it.
We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is... Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Every football fan has their Sunday routine. Maybe it's setting your lineup, firing up the grill, or claiming your spot on the couch. But the center of every Sunday is the drive. The morning drive home before kickoff. The drive to your buddy's watch party. Wherever you're headed, we can take you there.
Well, a little John Cena being played here. And hey, the time is up. The time is now. We are getting closer to decide a winner, but it is time to step up for your team. In a close quarter game, 60-57, almost a dangerous play for the Saints, who I don't know if they didn't know they were the team that had inbound, so they had to hustle to get down there. Terry. Now on to Benning. Terry now has it at the right wing. Benning gives him a screen. They'll sling it back to Benning in the far corner. He's going to put up a corner three. Christian Benning. Oh, man, he nails the three in front of his bench. Glauser tried to answer back. Barnett peels it down. Here comes Terry. Euro step, and it's good for Trayson Terry. Tried to get it to Leeson. It's poked away. Will stay with Dickinson. It is St. Mary's up by 8 with 5:08 remaining. This team, without Christian Benning, took the #1 team in the state century and lost to them only by 8 points. You knew when they get Christian Benning back, they were going to be good. And that has been the story here tonight. With him, Brooks Armstrong has played a fantastic game. Trayson Terry, Jackson Barth, and it is just, they have showed that, hey, they've got the star power to make some noise inside the WDA. Loose ball. Glauser. Plays it on to Cranston. Cranston finding a gap. Gets the end one. A much needed end one for DHS. You felt they needed it, or else it was going to start slipping through the cracks in the win column tonight. They needed to kind of score in that possession, even though there's plenty of time left. Just on the mental side of the game, trying to keep you locked in. If you're Dickinson, Cranston leaves it short. Stevenson battling for the board, and he's going to be called on an offensive foul, and it's shooting free throws the other way for St. Mary's on Stevenson's second. And it's Jackson Barth. Stepping in. Barth's free throw to the right of the rim. Ball going to pinball. Who's it? Last touched on. They will say it's last touch by Benning. Dickinson basketball down by 6 with 4:49 remaining. Make sure you vote each week for the PSP Network Player Performance of the Week. Nominees will be posted on social media each Monday with winners announced on Thursday. Player Performance of the Week is sponsored in part by the Aggie Foundation. As Bollinger to Wolf. Wolf, nice find, down low. Stevenson can't get it, continues to fight for it. And the Aggie Foundation brings the Player Performance of the Week. You can find out about their charitable work at aggiefoundation.com. Glauser, the inbounder, plays it to the top to Cranston. Cranston floats one, rattles in for Boston Cranston. He is tallying them up on the points. We will have to take next stoppage, try to tally that up for you, because I'm thinking he's close to 30, if not already there. With 13 at the half. Benning to Armstrong. Armstrong loops it down into the elbow. Barth to Xander. Backdoor on the baseline. He won't pull the trigger. 3 seconds. Terry's got to put one up. Terry, could not quite get that one. Oh, man, that almost had dropped for Trayson Terry. Stevenson to Bollinger. In the corner, Cameron Wolf skips off. Glauser there. Cranston with his three-point try. Not going to go. Barth pressured by Glauser, and he's going to get called. .26 unofficial for Boston Cranston. 13 points the first half, 13 in the second thus far. As Jackson Barth comes to shoot the free throws, he's got an impressive night as well. 17 for Barth. Will miss the first free throw. 4-point game. Barth right of the rim. Glauser calling for Bollinger to move. Wolf takes off, dribbles it off his foot. Great attendance here tonight. It's always a great attendance here at the DHS Gymnasium. And they've been a lively bunch here tonight, and so has the St. Mary's crowd that has made their attendance. Made for a fun game here on a Monday night. Wolf almost gets his hand in there. Jarred it loose for a second, but Terry driving by at the right time, pick it up. Now he goes to work on Bollinger. Trayson Terry for 2. Wolf hard off the glass. Stevenson cleans it up and 1. Stevenson's got 14 points. Third foul on Jackson Barth. Timeouts to be taken. I need to catch my breath and get ready for the ending of this one. St. Mary's 67, Dickinson 63, but a free throw can make it a 1-possession game.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline.
Sorry to Valvoline, we're going to cut out of that ad because we do not want to miss this free throw, because it could be a big one down the stretch of this game. Nate Stevenson for his end one attempt. Off the rim, Glauser. Did he have his hand on it, or was it Armstrong? Oh, this is a huge call. Dickinson basketball. Or no, Stevenson. They pointed towards Dickinson's side. Got a nice appreciation from the student section, and then they said, nope, actually, no, St. Mary's basketball. I think they got that right, though, as Glauser was the one to jump up at it. As Terry trapped in the corner by Daychild. He's got to hurry on the 10th second and just gets in with 1 second to spare. A little too nonchalant there was Terry. Benning trying to sail one on Bollinger. Not going to hit the call. What a pass! Christian Benning finding Dominic Zander for two. Daychild, three, in and out, hauled in by Christian Benning. Benning lowers the shoulder and Glauser goes down. What a roller coaster of events. St. Mary's gets the defensive stop, and you felt, oh man, if they can go down and maybe get a bucket, I won't say it puts this game to rest, but it puts you well in the driver's seat. You get the stop and a quick foul after, and you give it right back to Dickinson. As Tristan Orton lets one go out of play, last touched by St. Mary's. If he would have made that three-pointer, he would have tied a season high at 12 that he scored at the beginning of the season against the West Florida Horse and doubled it up against Wilson as well. As Cranston working against Trayson Terry. Works to his right. Stevenson pump fake, sees a lane open up. Stevenson leaves it short, goes back, gets it, puts it back in. Nate Stevenson. Relentless effort for the junior. 1:45 remaining. Benning lobs it up in a 4-point basketball game, and it is an off-ball offensive foul on Trayson Terry, his third. Dickinson catching a huge break. Stevenson to Daychild to pull within one, skips off the rim. Terry works the left, hits the brakes. They try to get it to Armstrong. Cranston almost had his hand in there. Armstrong gets a screen. They switch off of him. Allows Bart to have a size advantage on Cranston. Somehow Zander keeps it in play. Stevenson picks him off. He's going to hit the Jets. Nate Stevenson slicing, dicing, not going to get the roll. Loose ball. Benning pressured on the baseline. Still loose. Cranston taking away in the chaos. Count the bucket and the foul. Nate Stevenson went down. He was going to have a replacement for Tatum Bullinger, and Stevenson said, no, do not come in if you're coming in for me. But I think he's coming in for Daychild by indication. Cameron Wolf also looking to come in, and he will come in for Orton. Bullinger, it looks like he'll come in for Cranston for the defensive possession. That is going to be ensuing. Cranston to be within one, and yes, he hits it. 29 points for Cranston tonight. Pulls them within one. 51 seconds on the shot clock. 30 on the shot clock, 51 on the game clock. 69-68, a Monday WDA basketball game has led up to the expectations. Terry makes the shot, but the foul was before. Shot will not count. Terry going to line to shoot two on the bonus. Oh man, what a game. Little Monday night basketball here in the Queen City. Tristan Trayson Terry has some big free throws tonight. Coming up ahead of him. He was our spotlight player. He makes the first free throw. St. Mary's, how aggressive do you be if you miss or you make? It's getting loud. Terry makes it. Gets the insurance, up by 3. Does Dickinson go for 3, or do they elect to go for a quick 2? Cranston to Daychild to Cranston, pump fake, another pump fake. Stevenson for the tie, left it short. Barth comes down with the rebound. Armstrong to Terry, and he lays it in. Dickinson needs a quick bucket, 15 seconds. Cranston for 3, he nails it. They need a 3, they get a 3. 32 points for Boston Cranston. And he keeps Dickinson somehow, some way, still in this ball game. You just felt, oh no, it was going to go into after the Trayson Terry bucket. You felt, oh, it is definitely going to go St. Mary's way here tonight. With the Dickinson scrambling to set something up on the other end, needing a quick bucket. But if you need a bucket, you know who to call. Call number 3, Boston Cranston today. Here's the clutch kid. Boom! He even wanted a little contact. He felt he had his hand hit. Well, they're playing WWE songs all night long, and hey, it has been quite the entertainment here tonight. 73-71 Dickinson. We'll see if they try to be aggressive and get the steal, or do you go with the quick foul, and who do you guard? Who are you making sure that does not go to the line, because you'll need at least one miss. Theoretically, Zander to Armstrong, and they will send Brooks Armstrong to the line. Dan Glauser wanted a foul quick on Zander. He will not get one. The difference there was Zander was a 60% free throw shooter. Armstrong is a 50% free throw shooter. So maybe on the statistics side, he works into Glauser's favor, but he wanted it on Zander. As Armstrong leaves it short. Now here's the big one. You get this free throw, you get an insurance marker if you're St. Mary's. Off the rim, rebounded by Cranston. 8 seconds remaining. Stevenson looking for the tie. He's fouled by Trayson Terry. And that is Trayson Terry's 4th. So if this game would go into extra play to overtime, that's something to look at. 73% free throw shooter. Stevenson's first one not going to go. So what do? Do you miss on purpose? Do you miss on purpose and go for the rebound? And I think this is what Coach Glauser wants to talk about. We're going to stay right here with you. 73-71, 4 seconds left. Stevenson going to get one more free throw. Do you draw something up? Or you try to just chuck it off the rim, haul it in, get a quick pass off, and shoot a shot? Or do you make it, say, hey, if we make it, we make it, and then you go quick foul and hope there you play the game again? Or you hope that, well, I guess you wouldn't really need, if you make the free throw, I guess you're going to have to make a 3 regardless, especially with that many seconds left. But let's see how this plays out. Let's see what Coach Glauser's got drawn up in this situation. In a game that very well could be a first-round matchup inside the WDA tournament. And right now is coming down to the very end. St. Mary's looking for the upset tonight against the number 3 team in the conference, Dickinson. Stevenson gets one. Do you miss on purpose or not? Here we go. Stevenson makes it. I think he tried to miss it as it was off an angle. Benning to Terry, and Cranston make sure there's no time, goes off, but Cranston gets into Cameron Wolf, who has been favoring his knees throughout this game. And that's also Cranston's 5th foul. So Cranston has fouled out of this game with 3.1 left. And also, there's another thing. If Terry makes both these, Dickinson somehow makes a three-pointer. Now you play without Cranston for overtime. I mean, we're just speaking hypotheticals here. But another little thing, another wrinkle. Trayson Terry, our spotlight player to watch tonight. He is the one that's at the line. 88.5 free throw percent, the best free throw shooter they have. He was a perfect 6 for 6 against Mandan. And tonight, a perfect 3 for 3. He's got 16 points tonight. And looking to try to go up by 3 points. St. Mary's going to put all their blue jerseys behind the arc. Terry's free throw drops in. Cameron Wolf races in. He's going to shoot it at the buzzer, off the back iron and out. St. Mary's pulls the upset tonight in the Queen City. 75-72 on a Monday night thriller here in Dickinson. We're going to wrap this up when we come back here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair.
Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with the hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Points. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center,
Our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Well, if you're just joining us now, you missed out on what could be a potential Game of the Year nominee here inside the WDA. Fantastic game, and it comes with what probably some people would say a major upset, but hey, if you know St. Mary's, they've been playing a really good week of basketball, hanging in with some of the top teams in the WDA in the state, and now they have got their secret weapon back, or maybe he's not so much a secret. Christian Benning, after missing the last 6 games, he steps in, and they're playing some of their best basketball of the season the last couple of days without him. And now you enter him back in, and it is money for St. Mary's. 75-72 on the win tonight. Well, let's jump right in and taking a look at game highlights of the second half, because if we just started at the first half, we'd be here all night. So we're just going to start it off. It was starting off at the half, 33-32. Dickinson had the lead, but St. Mary's would jump out here kind of early on, and Dickinson takes the lead back. Then St. Mary's would go on a run, and St. Mary's had the lead a good part of that second half. And Dickinson, at the very end, was doing everything they could to try to get that momentum, and the crowd was doing everything they could too, but it was the St. Mary Saints night, and nothing could shake them. They did everything they needed to do. There was that door that was always slightly cracked open for Dickinson. St. Mary's would be up as high as 8 there in the second half. Dickinson would find themselves within striking distance, and then back down by 8, and then back within striking distance. Some big-time three-pointers in that second half by Jordan Baychild, Nate Stevenson, Tristan Orton kept them within striking distance. But Boston Cranston, he put it all on display here tonight, doing everything he could to try to will Dickinson from a come-behind victory, but just was not enough as he fouls out in the last 3 seconds. Trayson Terry hits his last 2 free throws to end it 75-72 in an absolute thriller here tonight. Let's talk about point scores, and we'll start off with Boston Cranston, 32 points. He hits the 30 club again. He's 24 points per game score. He gets 32 tonight. 17 for Nate Stevenson, 9s for Jordan Daychild and Tristan Orton, and Cameron Wolf with 5 points tonight. For St. Mary's, Dominic Zander, 7 points. Trayson Terry, 17, with the biggest free throws in the game at the end. Brooks Armstrong, was really impressed by him tonight. 11 points, just a few points away from his season high of 15. He had a big part with 7 points in the second half. Brady Kurtzman, the young gun, 2 points. Jackson Barr, 17. And welcome back, missing the last 6 games. He's back in the lineup. Christian Benning with 21 points, 13 in the first half. It's a big-time 3-ball in the second half, and he helps St. Mary's pull off the upset on the road. And this St. Mary's team, they're going to be a little team to maybe be a little dangerous coming in. Again, this team lost to the number 1 team in the state, Century, by just 8 points last week. And now they take down the number 4 team in the state and number 3 in WDA. And it was just clutch there. Trayson Terry was clutch at the end with a layup and a couple of free throws. But look at this ending. Boston Cranston nails the 3-pointer to go within 2. And that was pretty much do it there, as Stevenson would get a late free throw, and a couple late free throws there for Trace and Terry on the other end. But there's your final, 75-72. And our Sport Clips MVP of the game is going to Mr. Welcome Back, Christian Benning. 21 points in his dazzling comeback here tonight, and he helps Will St. Mary's to the upset win, 75-72. Well, next up for Dickinson, they got to quickly rebound as they take on Williston tomorrow night. You can catch that one right here on the PSP Network. And then they've got Minot North on the road in the Magic City on Friday night. For St. Mary's this week, they got Minot tomorrow, and then they're on the road, and then they're out at Legacy on Friday. So lots of road trips coming up on the way for St. Mary's. But that is going to, I think, about do it for us here tonight. Big thanks out to all of our great sponsors that have made this broadcast possible. Before we sign off, though, do want to whoop out here the PSP schedule for tomorrow. A lot of WDA hoops. Wilson, Dickinson, St. Mary's, and Minot High. So you can catch both these two teams tomorrow on the PSP Network. Legacy versus Minot North, Bismarck versus Mandan, Wilton Wing versus Central McLean, Rugby versus DLB. And all I have to say after tonight's performance, look out Minot High, because St. Mary's is here to play inside the WDA. There you look at it. They were number 7 coming into the night. And this team could be a very scary middle to low seed that you do not want to see inside of the WDA tournament. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Big thanks out to Zach Sprague. Excellent camera work as always. And thank you for joining us. And join us again for more basketball action tomorrow on the PSP Network. Signing off for the last time tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm Brock Widener.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms.